You already know. It's your favorite bean-eating mofo, fresh off that banana boat. The Latin assassin himself, Big Lou. And what it do with Big Lou, NFZR2, baby, baby. First time you're coming to the channel, be highly appreciated if you sub, like, and share the channel with your family, friends, peoples, gente, folks, camaradas, comrades, associos, associates, buddies, pals. You already know. And feel free to drop comments. I respond back to all the comments. So sorry I had to push this back 10 minutes. Just dropped off one of my little ones at school and took the day off because I got a doctor's appointment this morning. And you know, it's important to handle your business. You know what I'm saying? For the longest, I wasn't taking that serious. And you know, it is what it is. And now I came to the conclusion that you know, it's important. You know, I'm getting up there in age, right? They say, you know, good to take these certain tests by a certain age, this and that. So today they're running I'm going to do a what do you call that, EKG for your heart, and because it's medication that they're putting me on, so they want to make sure my heart can take it or whatever. So it's important. Take your health important. Make sure that you know, like I said, take that stuff important. It's very important, your health, because if you're not here to actually live later, then, you know, you can't support nobody as far as your kids, grandkids, whatever, your spouse, your girlfriend, your old lady, your wife, your esposa, your vieja, however you want to say it, right? So with that being said, I took today off. I had to take care of that. So I've been taking a lot of days off lately. Well, actually, we were closed down for 2 weeks, OSHA or whatever. OSHA, or you know what? I take it back. I don't even think that was OSHA. OSHA was the one that came through the site that day and caught the guy not using the harness when he was on the boom. But originally the problem was the city. The city inspector was on the site and seen some shit going on that I guess he had been long warned some of the construction managers and some of the foremen of the companies of the trades, and they continue to do it. So this guy finally put the foot down, and that's how that happened. And then also there was some issues about the pressure of the fire extinguishers and the fire extinguishers and the pressure in the hoses. You know, not the hoses, but the fire lines. You know, on the buildings. There was something with all that too. So the fire marshal stepped in on that too. Anthony Magnolo, buenos dias, buongiorno. So yeah. So anyways. That's what I got going on today. And I got some other things going on. Looking to get into a bigger, more spacious place for the kids, because everybody's kind of cramped up right now. You know what I mean? So trying to take care of that. So as you can see from the thumbnail, before I get into that, if you guys don't mind, and you haven't already noticed or checked out, go to my community page. I think what YouTube's doing now is that once you get over, before it was 500 subs and they give you the community page. Now I think what they did was 250 subs. They gave you a temporary one. So like when you post something there, it's good for 24 hours. But then again, I have a couple posts that I posted. They're like 4 or 5 days old and they're still on there. So they give you like 3 options. They give you a published option, archived option, and like a sneak peek to a future video option. So I'm not sure which one that is that allows it to stay there. Anyways, my point to being is this, is that I posted some pictures from the movies Blood In, Blood Out, and also, okay, well, let me break that one down first. And I also dropped the short Blood In, Blood Out. I have a couple of old phones and I wasn't sure which phone I had these pictures of. It was the Blood In, Blood Out cast, and my cousin, one of my cousins was in the movie. He was there when it was shot, and there was a couple homeboys that were there. And so anyways, I put the picture of my cousin on the short and I circled him with the white marker. And then also I posted him on the community page. And then also there's another homeboy, and you guys will remember him because he's in 3 good scenes. The picture that I posted him on is when they're having a little junta, a little meeting between the fence between the Black Guerrilla Army or whatever, or they were called the Vanguard. I forgot what it was in the movie. And the La Onda cats, the Latino cats. And Novato, you can see him. He's got the shades on. His hair's combed back. His name is Ernie Rivera Payaso, a.k.a. Payaso, and he's from West Hayward, Palmacias neighborhood. And he's also in the scene. His best scene is when Miklo gets off the bus in San Quentin for the very first time. And he says, "Orale, blue eyes, I got something for you." He tells him something like that, right? And then he's in the scene where what's his name? Oh man. Remember when Big Al, they're in the chow line, and he says, oh, look at that nice white meat down there. Something like that, right? And he tells him something like, "Look at that nice white meat down there," or something like that, and the line's not gonna move until he comes up to the front. And he's the one that pushes Miklo, like, "Get your ass up there, man." And so he's in that part. And then the other movie was The Principal. It was filmed in East Oakland, and my cousin Mota, he goes by Mota. His first name's Rob Borelli. And again, I had addressed this before, is that his last name is Borelli, which is not Spanish, it's Italian, right? His peoples on his father's side came from Sicily somewhere down the line, way back when, and went to Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? And that's what that's how he's got that name, you know what I mean? But anyways, I circled him, and he's in one of the community posts too. But if you guys are not aware of that, that's why I was telling you guys that about the community posts. So anyways, as you can tell from the thumbnail, it's about the reception center. Right? So Northern California, actually Northern California now only has one reception center, which is San Quentin State Prison, right? The old San Quentin. It's the oldest joint in California. It's about 150 years old. I think it was opened up in 1857, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. Second oldest joint is Old Folsom. And the reason I call it Old Folsom is because they have a new joint called New Folsom right next to it. Well, it's called California State Prison, Sacramento. And it's right next to Old Folsom. Let me be clear on this too. When people say it's part of the ideology here in California is there's only two penitentiaries in California. There's San Quentin and there's Folsom, Old Folsom. That being, and they're designed almost the same. And that being because they have bars. Your door, when you go into your cell, the thing that closes, that keeps you in, is bars. It's not a solid door. It's not a, they have these different type of doors now. Some of them are solid doors. On the level 3 and level 4 yards, they're solid doors, or they have the honeycomb type of cutout shapes in the door, where if you're standing for away, you can see in, you can tell who's inside as far as bodies, not really their face, the description of their face or what they look like in their face, but you can tell there's bodies in there. Or if you get real close and look in, but that's dangerous because somebody can just dart you in the eye or stab you with something, right? Doing something in the house, but I'm listening, man. Okay, cool. If you got extra time, just jump on or whatever, because I want to hear from Carlos too, because Carlos went through the Fed system. He's out of New York, and I wanted to hear how they do it there, because I believe in California, when depending where we don't have a MDC here. What they have is county jails are rented out by the feds, right? And they don't have like separate sections for Fed inmates. Everybody's mixed together, but they get paid bank to house them there, right? But Northern California wise, you can be held either at Sacramento County Jail, Alameda County Jail, which is Oakland, or San Francisco County Jail, which is obviously San Francisco, and then also San Jose, which is Santa Clara County. And then if you go a little bit further, if you get busted like Modesto, between Modesto, you go to Fresno County Jail for federal holding. Down south, I think everybody goes to LA if they get caught up. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I think Bakersfield has a federal holding as well. LA might have their own. I don't know if LA's mixed or if it just has its own federal guys there. And then San Diego also have federal holding, and I'm pretty sure there's probably another one or two You know what I mean? Thanks, Aunt Magnolo. I appreciate that. That's what's up, man. Um, you know, so oh, you heard that? Damn, that's a trip. That works fast. Um, yeah, so the way it's done, so it was originally it was back in the day. If you want to go back to the 80s, it was Vacaville, which is called CMF, California Medical Facility. Now, don't get it twisted. A lot of people always say nowadays, well, if you're in there, you know, because they were housing a lot of guys with HIV and AIDS there. That's not the case. That's not the case. No, you know, they had it mixed always, but a lot of guys, what they were doing, they were keeping these guys separate in the separate section of the joint, and then what they ended up doing was these guys filed lawsuits and stuff saying they were being discriminated against, and then they end up mixing them back in with everybody else. But people tend to think when you say the, you know, Vacaville or CMF that something's wrong with you, and that's not the case. You know, they have a regular main line there, and people are mixed. So back in the 80s, that was even the 70s, that was a reception center for Northern California, was Vacaville. Everybody from Fresno up north to North California went to Vacaville, and everybody from Fresno down. I'm not sure where Bakersfield went exactly, if they went to Vacaville or Chino. And Chino is CIM, which stands for California Institution for Men. And that's in Chino, California, Chino is, I believe, either Riverside or San Bernardino County. Anthony Magnolo was a good man. Yep. Thanks, Anthony. Once again, bro. Appreciate it. So everybody would go to one of those two joints. Then sometime in the 90s, I want to say probably 92, between 91 and 93, they opened up D.V.I, which is AKA Tracy. D.V.I stands for Dual Vocational Institution. It's the actual thumbnail that I have here. That's the joint inside one of the wings, right? It's 3 tiers high and cells on both sides, right? Old Penn, originally it was a youth authority, hence why it's got the name Gladiator School. And then it just recently closed down, I think sometime in the last 2 years. Supposedly it's part of the budget proposal by Governor Newsom to cut back on costs, and that being D.V.I, which is already closed now. Supposedly in the plans is Susanville, which is in Susanville, California. We call it Susie's house. That's supposedly they already closed down the fire camp. That's supposed to be closed, and then after that it's supposed to be Soledad, which is AKA Chole. It actually is CTF, Correctional Training Facility. And that place is built just like D.V.I, Vacaville, and Chino. And then the last one being San Quentin. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Tracy's definitely closed. It was open for over 60-something years. Going to work. Okay. Catch you later then. Going to work. Carlos going to work. Have a good day at work today, brother. Have a positive, blessed, and productive day to the best of your ability. Hopefully your boss don't work you too hard. And, you know, it is what it is. But so that's the reception center. Tracy opened up, like I said, sometime between 91 and 93, as well as San Quentin State Prison. And between that, and then a little bit after that, they opened up a new prison, brand spanking new, Delano, which is in Delano, California, which is the same county as Bakersfield. There actually is, they got Delano, and then they got New Delano, which is real big. I think there's 6 yards, I believe, or 8 yards, level 4 yards in that county of Kern. They also have Wasco, which is also another reception center. They have Tehachapi, which has levels 1 through 4, and the shoe. Pretty old pen too. And they also have CCF McFarland, and what's that other one? Bakers, I think it's called. These are CCF, so these are like private joints where they're low levels, you know, level 1. They have usually just one lieutenant from the California Department of Corrections, and then all the staff is like security guards, basically private, you know, private companies. And these guys are like work out in the roads. They're very small facilities. I never been to one, just from what I heard, but I have been to McFarland to pick up a friend of mine when he got out. And then so they have actual 4 joints there, 4 prisons, and then they have like 2 or 3 CCFs. So there's a lot of jobs for that area for people. You know, they brought a lot of revenue to the people's pockets, you know, by opening up these joints there and these CCFs. So anyways, like I said, you got Tracy in San Quentin, and then for a little bit of time there, High Desert, which is I had mentioned Susanville earlier. It's right across from Susanville. It's in Susanville, California. It's called High Desert State Prison. For a while there, they were using that place for reception for the counties up north, right? So like Humboldt County, or excuse me, not Humboldt County, Hamilton, or oh my gosh, Butte County. I'm trying to think of the name of the county. Hamilton, Glenn County, Siskiyou County, Butte County, all those counties that are way up north. There's another one too with I can't think of the name of the county. Anyways, they were using that for a while. Then they had Tehachapi was being used as a reception center for a while. Then you had Donovan for like San Diego area, those places down there, that was reception. So now Donovan's closed. It's all mainline. Everybody from that area, San Diego, goes to Chino. Chino still guys from LA. That's the thing about down south. You can go to either Chino, Wasco, or Delano. It just depends where they send you, right? Marky Mark, I think Marky Mark's been to, what's up, Marky Mark? I think you've been to Delano and Wasco reception, if I'm not mistaken. Me personally, I've been to Quentin, I've been to Tracy, and then I did a layover in Delano, and it was just overnight, and we slept in R&R. They gave us mattresses, and we just slept right there. And we got there about 10 o'clock at night. Everybody was beat because our day started very early in the morning. In R&R at the pen we were at, we loaded up. You know, they were supposed to pick us up, like the COs in R&R that worked R&R, which, remember, people's R&R stands for receiving and releasing. Anytime anybody leaves a prison or arrives at a prison or leaves a prison, they have to go through R&R. So even if you have to say there's some emergency, you're rushed out to a hospital, you have to go through R&R. If you're going to like just a normal doctor's appointment outside of the prison, you have to go through R&R. Anytime you leave or come in, you got to go through R&R, receiving and releasing. So we got there. So while we're sitting where we're at R&R, the prison we're at leaving, it changed like 3 times where they were supposed to come and pick us up, and they were having some issues on the road. They were way behind schedule. So we were actually in there from like 5 in the morning until they finally picked us up about 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. And then we didn't get to, first we went to Wasco. We dropped some guys off there, and I think we picked up a couple. And then we went to Delano, and then we laid over at Delano. And then in the morning, by the time we got up, it was all popping. Man, they had a bunch of people coming in from LA County. I remember seeing an LA County bus. And then they had all the holding tanks filled with guys that were leaving too. So you know, I got to see all that, and I got to see how they ran that R&R, you know, compared to the other R&Rs I've been to. And then we ended up eventually loading up on the bus and taking off to Tracy. And we went straight from there to Tracy, and then dropped off some guys, picked up some guys, went to Jamestown, dropped off some guys. I don't remember if we picked up some guys, but we probably did. And then the old Folsom, and then we made our way around to Solano, Vacaville area, and then that's where I got dropped off. But so Tracy, the last video I kind of told how it went as far as you know, the procedures in R&R, as far as you know, them taking your vitals, you talking to the nurse about any medical issues, what kind of medication you're on, if you had any psych issues. Also, they gave you, you know, your new CDC number. They did your prints. They gave you your picture for your ID. You spoke to the R&R sergeant, asking you about your history, shit like that. Okay. And then I also, last thing I mentioned was either right before count or right after count cleared, you would be taken to your housing unit, right? To the wing. If you were still GP, you would go to the wings. If you locked it up and you were no longer in, general pop, you would go to East and West Hall, right? And all that changed too, because back in the day, everybody went to East and West Hall first. It was like fish roll kind of, and you stood there for 10 days or 14 days, and then they moved you on to one of the wings, right? And then if you were lucky and you got to stay there, then you would be shot to, you'd be shot to either the zoo, which was the gym. They made it into Y dorm and Z dorm with a fence down the middle, and you were sent there, right? Or at that time you had you had L3 was mainline, and they were using D wing and C wing at that time. Now everything's changed. It's all way different now. Well, actually it's closed now. So yeah, it's totally different. But over the years, things change. That's why I tell people, man, when you know a joint, when you hear like a certain place is no good now, and you hear somebody tell a story about being at that place, or you got to investigate what years, because these places in California, at one point they could be good, and then 8 months down the line they changed to no good, or they were no good and now they're good. It just, you got to look into things. You can't just take something you think you got to really investigate. And when it comes to people's safety and their security, what I mean by that is they're being considered good or not good or moved on. You gotta know what you're doing, right? Jedi mind trick, good morning, brother. Roscoe Scotland's in the house. Wow, joints flip. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Marky Mark knows what's up. Plus, we talk and we know, even though we're both, it doesn't even matter that we're from two different parts of the state. This is something that's embedded in us. This is something that, our ideology is damn near the same. That's why I tell people, man, just because, we run with two different group segments, or our skin colors, different colors, we're more similar than not. And if people could grasp that, there would be a lot less hate, I would think. You know what I mean? Not that I think, for sure. It would be a lot less hate. So anyways, you get to your housing unit, right? Either right before count or right after count clears. And then soon after that, within an hour and a half or so, will be chow time, right? And yep, facts, exactly. So right sometime after that will be chow. Depending how they're running chow there, you might be self-fed, or you walk down to the chow hall, and you don't go to the main chow hall in Tracy. You go to the little satellite kitchen. So basically what that means is the food is brought on over from the main kitchen. Everything's cooked already. It's just pots of food, and you throw them in the in the little sections where the pots fall into the serving area, and then you obviously dish the food out. But people are sitting down to eat as people are getting up to dump the trays and going out, because it's such a small little satellite kitchen. They have two of them, one in East Hall, one in West Hall, and then the main chow hall is down the hallway, more closer to where you go to when the corridor busts to the left and you go out to yard. And then in San Quentin is different. They have two big chow halls. And I had made a video a while back about the pros and cons of San Quentin and Tracy, D.V.I, as far as the canteen, laundry, chow, the pros and cons of each one. And the way they do it in San Quentin is they don't dismiss anybody until everybody sits down. Once everybody sits down, they give everybody about, I don't know, probably like 10 minutes, and then they start dismissing tables. Tracy, on the other hand, because they're using those satellite kitchens and they're only so big with so many tables, like I mentioned a minute ago, people are already getting up, being dismissed by the COs as people are still coming in the line to get the trays. You know what I mean? Canteens run a lot different. I'll do another video on that, and I'll break it down to shorter videos like what I'm doing with these. I already spoke on some of this stuff before, but the video was long, and everybody doesn't watch all the videos. So it's better to break them down into like between 10 minutes and like 15-minute increments, right? So this one is considered this one is part 3. Let's see, first draw, second draw. Yeah, first draw. They got 3 draws. That's why we always got along, Lou. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's my boy. I didn't even see that. What up? What's up, Frankie? I'm gonna bring this. Hopefully, this guy, since I got my own little channel now as well. No Fly Zone's like on a break, but I'm gonna bring him on one day. Hopefully soon here. This guy did he did about 27, 28 years. He went in as a juvenile and got out recently. Real good dude. He's from the other side. You know what I mean by that? He's from Southern Cali, and he always treated me with respect, and I did the same with him. And I mean, we really had adult conversations, bro. You know what I mean? The hell with all that bullshit, wannabe ass shit, you know what I'm saying? Over the years, we put all that behind us, and that's what you do. You have grown-up conversations with people, man. The man's very intelligent, and you guys will see when I bring him on. He has a hell of a story. I didn't even know that was you, bro. That was the trip. I'm reading it. I didn't even know that was you. Daniel Ortiz, buenos dias. Yeah, straight up. Steve Tortola, Canada popping in, just popping in, working, my friend. Keep being yourself. That's right. Always been myself, man. And that's the thing too. Jedi mind trick. He knows me personally. We've been in 2 different prisons together. We've been in 2 different programs together. We've had many conversations. The same. He can attest. The same way I am on here is how I am in person. I'm not. I mean, I know some people say, I shut the laptop down, and then I get to my real life. Yeah, I get to my real life too, but I'm not one of them cats that's different. I'm the same on here as I am in real life. You know what I'm saying? Bologna sandwich, carrots, and bird seed, Kool-Aid. Yeah, that's right. Raining down. Yeah, it was raining all night, bro, because I was going to do the live last night. I had it set for 11:55, but it was so quiet in the house, and I would have woke everybody up. And my son got to go to work at 6:30. He gets up and he starts at 7:30. So I didn't want to wake him up. Then all the other 3 kids got to go to school. So I didn't want to do that. And it was raining outside, so I didn't want to go outside and go live from outside. Let's see, what's Roscoe say? Yeah, it's 10. It's supposed to be 15. Seen it kicking off with the screws trying to rush you. Cops. I don't know what that means. Campbell Ford. Good morning. Let's see. That's the real Lou. That's how I've known for you. Yep, exactly. Got to get that lunchbox. Yeah. Then the homies or the wood pile will snatch you up immediately through that door to your building. You've been a porter before, right? Yeah, I've been a porter. I've been a porter twice. I've been porter once in reception center, and I've been a porter in the main line once. Been a porter before. No. I've been I'm lying. I've been a porter twice in the main line. My other job was I was the recycling porter in the gym, and basically all I had to do was go around and dump everybody's trash that was in their aisles that they put, with their own paper bags, and I would just throw those trash and then throw out the big trash, and that was it. You know what I mean? I kept it like that. Rushing you at chow. Oh yeah. Yeah, they do. Especially Tracy, and a lot of them have they're just assholes, some of them. But other ones, I've been to places where they don't act like that, man. They give you your time, they give you your respect. It just depends, man, where you're at. But yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. All right, Jedi Mind Trick, I'll check you out later, man. Have a good, blessed, positive, productive day today. Yeah, so let me get back to what the topic here. So reception center, like I said, you go down there. This is what to expect, right? There's not going to be much movement there. You're not going to have, it's going to be, and that's another thing too. The other thing I brought up San Quentin and Tracy. San Quentin, you go to yard twice a week. Tracy, you only go to one. You go once a week, and you go for about 3 hours. You go 3 or 4 hours. It might be 5 hours, but it's at least 3 hours. You go, depending what wing you're in. That'll you'll have a certain day you go. So, for example, E wing might go on Tuesdays. You know what I mean? Yeah, no phones either. Either one, you ain't got no phones. Only way you got a phone, you got action of phone and reception if you're under the American Disability Act, the ADA. And then packages too. You can't get packages and reception unless you've been there for a year. Then you're eligible for packages, right? Yeah, you're writing pretty much. Yeah, you're writing letters usually, and what you can receive in both places, you can receive a writing packet, which is you can get 150 sheets of paper. You can get 40 stamps and 40 envelopes, or you can get 40 stamp envelopes. And Tracy, you can also get 2 pins. It's got to be see-through pins, black or blue pins. San Quentin, I had some pins sent to me, but they took them from me. The mailroom took them from me. And then you can also get 15 pictures per envelope. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are looking forward to that. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, people's. And I couldn't tap back in. I had an important phone call right now from the doctor's office. I tried to tap back in and I had problems. Sorry about that. I appreciate everybody for being patient and bearing with me on this. Let's see what some of these. Let's see some of these comments. I got package in the reception. You did, huh? Wow. The bendy pals. What's a bendy pals? A bendy pins. What's that? You talking about like the one with no? You're talking about the ones they give us with just a filter? Oh yeah, them pics of your lady in them in the thong waiting on them shits. Well, me excuse me, the last time I was in there, I had my baby, my 6-year-old was born when I was locked up. I was in the county jail, and she was mad at me. I missed the birth, which totally understandable. I should have been there for support. Unfortunately, my wacky ass life I was living at the time didn't permit me to do so. And I was, I didn't know what my baby looked like. So I finally got pictures of the baby, and I was like, oh yeah, that's all me, right? Because all my kids look like me, all of them. So I was worried about that. I wasn't even worried about no thong shots. You know what I mean? So what can you get in packages over there? We don't get packages, but if stamps get sent in an envelope, my local person, I went to school with COs though. Yes, you're allowed to get, like I said, in reception center and on the main line, but it's very important in reception center because the stamps are money, right? The only problem is in Tracy, a book of stamps, which cost pretty close to $10 at that time. I'm not even sure what a stamp costs now. It's like 42 cents a stamp, 44 cents. I'm not even sure. At that time, it was like 38 cents, 40 cents. So times 20, that would be $8, right? It was only worth in Tracy $3. That's all you can get for it in reception. In San Quentin, you can get $3.50 for it. And then once you get to a main line, you can get $6 for it. Either a jar of coffee or a case of soups. So what I would always do was, this last time, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have it like I had it in all my other times in the pen. I would get stamps from my mom, from my aunt, and what I would do is I would trade off one book for a jar of coffee and one book for a case of soups, and then the other one I would get chips, beans, and rice, right? And there was not one day that went by that I did not have something to eat. Like, I'm not saying what they give us, but I'm saying every day I was able to make me some type of spread or a manwich, right? And a manwich is you get your bread, you put your mayonnaise and mustard on it. If you got hot sauce, tapatio, you put that on there. Or actually not tapatio. Well, yeah, if you had tapatio, you can use that, but people use sriracha, right? They call it sriracha, but really I think it's pronounced sriracha, right? And that stuff's pretty good. You put that on the bread, you'd mix it. Sometimes I would put that, sometimes I wouldn't. So basically what it is, you bust open your noodles, you don't smash it up. You bust it open, you put water in it, hot water, or you can open it and put it into a bowl, put hot water in it, let it sit for like maybe, you don't want it to get all mushy. You want it to be soft, but still stick together. And, then you drain the water and then you bust it off. If you want to make it one sandwich, you can, but you can bust it off because it comes like in 2 layers, the noodles. So you can break it in half or, and then cut it. And you make 2 sandwiches. So basically what you do, you put your mayonnaise and mustard, if that's what you want on it. And then you put your lunch meat, right? I wouldn't eat the bologna. I would only do that with the ham, or that generic ham, whatever. And then you use your seasoning. You can put your seasoning on the mayonnaise and mustard, and then you, like I said, you put the ham on there, and then you can put your half of your noodles on there, and you can put more seasoning on it, right? And then you can put cheese. If you have cheese, you can put some cheese on it. Me, I used to like to put jelly on it, right? And then put the other piece of bread on top and then smash it a little bit. And then you could throw chips on it too, right? And that's a manwich. Another thing we used to do is we used to make, me and my partner, my homeboy Pancho, he's in, if you guys go to that video where it's called Do Our Families Do Time With Us or something like that, there's 3 guys in the picture. It's me in the middle, and then 2 homeboys one on the right, one on the left of me. We're in one of the buildings. We got a phone. We busted some pictures. And me and him used to eat every day, and we made this other thing where it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then we would drop it in the middle of a bowl of oatmeal, and it was kind of like a pie. There's a lot of different little recipes we had, that we would eat every day together, right? And yeah. So when you break, when you bust into with your fork, the orange state fork they give you, it's like a spork, right? Where it's like a spoon, but it has a teeth at the end, like a fork. You cut into it and you eat it, right? And it's like a pie, right? And we used to make a lot of different things, but not one day went by that I didn't have something to eat besides what the state food, right? By living off stamps, right? At one time, most of all my other terms, I used to get 2 packages a quarter. And what I mean by that is you're allowed, under your name with your CDC number, your California Department of Correction number, you're allowed to get a package every 3 months, meaning you can get 4 a year, and they weigh up to 30 pounds, the box. But you got to go through one of the vendors now. Back in the day, your family was able to go down to the stores, buy whatever you wanted, whatever you requested, or whatever they thought you would like, put it in the box, take it to the post office, make sure it weighed 30 pounds or less, box it up, send it to you. That could have anything from, candy, coffee, sweets, if you want to send them somewhere to go get you a certain pair of pants, a certain pair of shorts, a certain sweater, beanie, they could put all that in there, right? And then your TV was considered a special purchase, along with your guitar. If you bought a guitar, if you bought a typewriter, also like a radio, that was all special purchase, right? Which was separate from your quarterly package. But then I would always get an extra package, and I'd get in somebody else's name, and I would pay them between $10, $15, $20 for getting that package in their name, right? So a lot of times I would go, and a lot of these guys don't have nothing, so you can get the stuff for them right at the store. If it's hygiene items, and they need bars of soap, and they need shampoo, toothpaste, deodorant, you can get it right for them right there at the store. So it doesn't even affect your box as far as your 30 pounds and all that. There's some guys that want special stuff that you can only get in the package. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of different things. So it just varies. Let's see. Mark, yeah, sprayed with perfume and shit. Yeah, you can do that too. Clothing, shoes, and your toiletries in that first package. Maybe some headphones to bump. Second package, all food. Yeah, that's the thing too. When you first get to the pen, and you don't have no clothing yet, you got to figure out what's more important to you, like for certain things. Like I mentioned the other day, it's always you got to do this, man. Besides the toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, and bars of soap and lotion that you're using right then and there that's open, at least have 2 or 3 on deck, that you have them in the back of your locker, because you never know when you're going to go on lockdown. And then you go on lockdown, you can't go to the store. There ain't no such thing as, you guys can go for hygiene items only, no food. They don't allow you even to do that. You know what I'm saying? They don't give you no deodorant in prison. They don't give you no shampoo in prison. They don't give you no toothpaste in prison. They don't give you no deodorant. They give you 1 bar of soap, which is state soap, a week, along with 1 roll of toilet paper and 2 razors. And the toothpaste, what they give you is 2 powder. A lot of guys use it to scrub things because it's kind of like Ajax. You know what I'm saying? That's how strong it is. And there's always a homie that don't get packages that'll let you use his ID to get a package. Just break him off with something. Yeah, that's basically what I just said. You get food sent in, that would be fucking great if they don't that here, but they're too worried about drugs, which come in regardless. Yeah. So that's what people used to do. They used to get the Folgers jars of coffee. The families on the street used to unseal it and then stuff it with balloons of dope, right? And then seal it back up and make it look like nobody touched it. So that was one form of it. One reason they stopped the packages from that family sent it. Yeah, we get our clothes handed in at reception and CD players, DVDs, but not like food or anything like that, bro. Yeah, we don't get DVD players. Nah, they fucking search them packages like a motherfucker right in front of you. They'll engrave all your stuff with your initial. Yeah, so what they do is, what he means by that is your CD player, your headphones, your fan, your TV, your battery charger, your extension cord, your hot pot, your name will go on it, your last name, and your CDC number.
Yeah, they search all the clothing up, open up CD players and initial stamps on ours, but no food, no stamps, nothing. But we still get our weed in through. Yeah, and that's another thing. They 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 check all that stuff, right? And everything's clear now. The TVs are clear, the CD players are clear because guys used to hide shit in the TVs and stuff. You know, now you can't get away with that. Yeah, get you. Thanks, bro. Okay. Bread bag spreads. Oh, I made the best fucking spreads in the building. And some chicharrones fire. Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's what we do, people that don't get nothing. We get money sent in and we fill in their commissary sheets. Yeah. So on lockdown, you don't get food. That's fucked up. Well, in lockdown, yeah, if you're on lockdown, if your group segment's on lockdown, say with the say it's north and south, they're on lockdown together. No, none of the guys will go to the store. If you got a package that's already landed, that's there, you won't get that either for a while. And they, everybody gets punished as a collective. It's not just the 10 guys involved or the 20 guys involved or the 5 guys involved or whatever happened. It's everybody from that group segment, everybody that's classified. And what I mean by that is that your bed cards are a certain color that course that how would I say that is color coded by your group segment. So for example, if you're black, it might be a yellow card. If you're white, it might be a white card. If you're south, it might be a baby blue card. If you're north, it might be a pink card. And what I mean by bed card is the tower up in the tower and in the office. It has everybody's ID pictures on the wall with the cells that they're in with them and their celly, and it's by the color coded by your group segment. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Um, yeah. So not only if you're on lockdown, you don't get food, you don't get anything, bro. You don't get anything. So that's why I said, besides the deodorant, soap, body wash, lotion, shampoo, toothpaste that you're actually using, and toothbrush that you're using right then and there, it's a great idea to have at least 2 brand new ones up in your shelf, up in your locker, right? I always push for 3. I would always have 3 brand new ones besides the one I was using. Just because, like I said, you never know when you're going to go on lockdown. You don't never know how long it's going to be. Um, in the hole, now if you're in ASEG, the hole, the oil, administration segregation, the shoe, security housing unit, there it's a lot different because they put your shampoo, your deodorant, your body wash, your lotion in cups. So usually they'll open up. So if you have one bottle of shampoo, you have a bottle of conditioner, you got a bottle of body wash, you got soap, you got lotion. They'll put each one in a cup, right? Not the soap, excuse me. They'll put your toothpaste, your lotion, your body wash, your shampoo, and your conditioner in cups. And usually they'll just give you one, but for some dumb reason, they'll open up a brand new one instead of giving you the ones that are already open. And then, if you run out of that because you're in the hole long enough, then you request them, the property officer that's the property officer for AdSeg. You request them to go in there and grab give you some more of your stuff. Same thing with like thermal. If you need your thermal out of there or your beanie, you get at them on a inmate request form. You let either your celly, if it's a dual cell, and the reason I'm saying that because some AdSegs like Tracy, Vacaville, Chino, Soledad, you don't have a celly. The shoe, if you're an actual validated member, you don't have a celly. So you got to get somebody to proofread it before you drop it in the box. You know what I'm saying? Even your letters, it's proofread to make sure that you're not like telling in the letter, like, oh, I got to get out of here or whatever. They proofread everything. Same thing like when you got to go get at the CO about something, you take somebody with you. It's called a shadow. And that's the cosign that you're not giving up no type of information. Same thing with your letters and your inmate request forms. Everything's screened, right? So, I don't know if you like that or not. It does suck. If you're in a letter and you're getting freaky with your old lady in the letter, you want some other cats reading it. It's kind of, personal information, right? So same thing there. You can request, thermal, your beanie. You can say, hey, I need another one of my shampoos or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And usually they take care of that. They don't leave you just hanging because pretty much that's solely their job is they're the property officer of the whole of AgSec, the whole. You know what I But they do, like in the shoe, Pelican Bay shoe. I never been there, but you would hear from a lot of homeboys that, you know, they would play around with your mail and your packages and stuff like that, and you didn't get it in a timely fashion. They would screw everybody over, make them wait forever to get their own stuff. You know what I mean? Also, so like I said, reception, you come out to yard only in Tracy, D.V.I, dual vocational institution, you come out once a week. San Quentin, you come out twice a week. Okay. Canteen, now they have Harvey. What's up, Harvey? If you guys haven't already, go and check Harvey Talks Prison. Gentleman out of Missouri, the state of Missouri, did almost 3 decades straight. Was a lifer, got out, and now he's been out about 6 years, I think he told me. I've done 4 videos with him. So go check him out, give him a sub, like and share his channel, drop him comments. He responds back to the comments. He's constantly working, dropping content, constantly supporting others. You know what I mean? He's a real one. So go check him out. Go check out the videos we did together. I'm hoping to bring him on here soon, and he can tell us a little bit about himself. And yep, gotta stay on deck. That's in fact, yeah. So also, what was I saying now? I forgot. So yeah, Tracy, once a week you go to yard. San Quentin, you go twice a week. Commissary, we don't call it commissary in the pen, we call it canteen. Commissary is a county jail term here in California, but they mean the same shit. Usually I'll tell somebody, like if I'm buying something from them, or I'm trying to make a deal with them or something, I'll tell them, okay, hold that for me, or let me get it until I go to the store. Or some people will say, I'll be shopping this week. They'll use that term, right? And so now in the pen they have, well, they always had it, but it just depends where you're at and how they wanted to run it. But they have open line, right? And now what open line means, when you drive up, let me give you an example. So at Tracy receptions, oh, that's another thing. Reception center, no matter what reception center you're at, the max you can go is $110 a month. Okay. Once you go to the main line and you put your blues on, because reception you're in orange. Once you put your blues on in the main line, you can go to the store, $220 a month. If you're in the hole, you can only go $55 a month. And so I was in Tracy that time for 5 months, a little over 5 months, and I went 110 every month. And I went there with like $600. So I had like 50 bucks left. It was like, yeah, 45, 50 bucks left when I touched down on the joint I was going to next. And what happened was, as soon as I came off that bus, as soon as we got on R&R and we got to our housing units, the next day when they ran yard, the canteen was open. Even though I already went 110 in Tracy and I maxed out, I was now on the main line. I was able to go right in there and finish out my $50 that I had left on my books, right? And that's called open line. And anyways, when you first drive up to a pen, no matter what draw you are, and there's only 3 draws in California, and this goes by your last 2 numbers. It has nothing to do with your letter or any other numbers in your CDC number, but your last 2 numbers. So if your last 2 numbers are 00 to 33, so any combination of 00 to 33. So you could have, so if your number is 12, your last 2, your first draw. If your last 2 numbers are 30, that's first draw. If your last 2 numbers are 27, that's first draw. If your last 2 numbers are 18, that's first draw. Okay. Second draw is 34 through 66. So for example, if your last 2 numbers are 64, your second draw. If your last 2 numbers are 55, your second draw. If it's 40, second draw. If it's 36, second draw. Finally, third draw is 67 through 99. So again, for example, if your last 2 numbers are 94, your third draw. If your last 2 numbers are 71, third draw. If your last 2 numbers are 69, third draw. Okay. But they have a thing called fish draw. So even if you drive up to the pen and they're doing third draw, but you're actually first draw, you can still go to the store. You just got to write on your paper somewhere on top, big fish draw. Same thing when you leave reception center and you go to a main line, you put fish draw, and you can go to any draw, no matter what draw they're in and what draw you are actually. You still put in, it's called fish draw. And then you can, go shopping, get what you need, right? So when you get that first, obviously when you get to the main line, So this is another thing, people. Let me make this clear too. Say you're leaving San Quentin, Tracy, Chino, or Wasco or Delano reception center, and you're on lockdown with another group segment because they had a melee or some type of little incident. When you get to where you're going, as long as you're not on lockdown in that institution because of something happened, you're not on lockdown, so you'll come right off. And another thing they do too, when you get on the Gray Goose to leave the pen, say North and South got into it and they're on lockdown, they'll still put you guys on that bus together, and they'll just make it clear, hey, whatever's happened at this joint doesn't matter. You're now on transportation. You're on the Goose. We're gonna be taking you guys to where you're going. And they'll straight up put a threat out there. Don't jump or we'll pop that ass, right? They'll say some shit like that. And these dudes are usually wicked, big ass dudes. A lot of them are big dudes. Transportation. They wear the same jumpsuit as the COs, but theirs are black, and they're and it sticks out. And it'll be one sergeant and two COs on the transportation bus, right? And so you got that going on, right? So your canteen, and that was another thing I said. The difference between San Quentin and Tracy was San Quentin, every little thing, man. They were, and the way they ran it in San Quentin reception, it was by tier. So first tier would be considered like first draw, second tier would be second draw, third tier would be third draw, and then fourth and fifth tier they would somehow work them in. And for any reason, if somebody, like, if it looked like the third tier threw out a bunch of garbage on the tier between, say cells, say in the back bar cells 330 through 335, they would penalize those cells and they wouldn't let them go to the store. Any little thing. If there was a fight, a one-on-one fight, they would penalize that tier. Tracy, the only way you got penalized is if once you were in that canteen room, not canteen room, but that canteen area, and they slid that gate and closed and locked it. If you were talking, they would send your ass back to your housing unit, and they would not let you shop. And this was the CO. I had mentioned him a couple of days ago. He was a Japanese CO, old school CO, been around for 20 years at least. He was a dude that would trip and tear up our cells in the morning of the extra clothing and stuff like that we had in our windows to try to keep us warm, because the windows were broken out, and they would always get around to fixing these windows during wintertime. Or excuse me, they would fix the windows during summertime, so people would just break them right back out. So he was, basically punishing us for that, I guess you could say. So he would also do that in the canteen. If you were talking, he would send your ass back, and you wouldn't be able to shop. And it just, even if you're talking really low, he would still send you back. No talking was allowed. So I would always make sure that if I somebody got by me that talked a lot, I would get the hell away from them. You know what I mean? And basically, even if you're in line a certain way, that's not the way it works. They call you by your name. What happens is you turn in your slips, your canteen slips ahead of time, and when they start calling you guys over there, your orders are already pulled. They got them already off to the sides in boxes. So when they call your name, you could be like what it looks like in the back of the line, but when they call your name, it could have been within the first few minutes of being there. You know what I mean? I would always hope that they would call me last, just so I got to get out of my cell for a while. You know what I mean? And then, of course, we'd get some ice creams. What was cool was that last cellie I had before I left, I knew him already I didn't know him from the streets. I met him in jail, but I knew him from jail 2 different times, and I knew his older brothers. And he happened to go 110 a month, the full draw, and I went 110. So it wasn't like you were taking care of another man. You know what I'm saying? As far as looking out for him, giving him, deodorant, buying his own little shit, or sharing with him, excuse me. Because I had a cellie one time, bro. I would share it with him because he had no money coming in. And this dude would just overdo it. I mean, he would, like, literally, the toothbrush, he would fill it all the way across, and it would be like this high. He had the nerve one time to tell me, oh yeah, the color of the coffee on the container, that's how I like my coffee. I said, well, you can like your coffee like that when you're buying your own creamer. I don't even do that. What makes you think that you're going to be doing that off my shit, right? And then lastly, man, when he would like use mayonnaise, it would just be like, a ton, bro. There's just no shame in his game, bro. Like in Spanish, you say, no tiene vergüenza. He don't have no like shame. He's not embarrassed. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you do that, man? How do you just do that? You know what I mean? Harvey, do you have a ranch here? I don't know. I can't tell right here. If you do, because you should, let me check. If you do, drop your link to your channel. Drop Drop your link to the channel in the comment section. You should have a wrench. I'll tell you right now. Oh no, you don't have one. Okay, let me fix that. Okay, Harvey, you got your own wrench. Rich DM, you got a wrench. Drop your link here, Harvey. Also, anybody, if you guys are interested, if you got your own channels, or maybe not even that, you just want to get some digital stuff done, hit up Rich DM 650. He's got his own deal going on. It's a Bay Area marketing place, one of those. And he does good work. He's done things for like 3 or 4 different channels that I know of for sure. Like avatar things, different designs and stuff like that. So check him out too. Let's see. What did Mark say? I had a homeboy get his eyeball popped right out with that block gun. Oh yeah. I got a couple stories about that too. I'll tell that another time though. I had a homeboy get his eye popped out from the block gun in front of me. We were on the floor already after a riot and reception. Popped his eye out with the block gun. The CO did him dirty. Always that one punk ass CO. Yeah, there always is. What a prick. Or that CO that'll put someone on blast and get their ass beat up. Yeah. Marky Mark. Yep, there is always that one that will destroy your cell. Yep. Matter of fact, this last time I was locked up too, man, this other cat I knew, he was a humble dude, man. His name was Hector. I met him at another prison. He was a canteen worker. And then I ran into him. I got out and came back and ran into him at this prison, and I hollered at him. He remembered me. It wasn't that long past, maybe 3 years. But this one day, man, I noticed he wasn't himself, and he was walking the track. And what caught my eye was that he was by himself. That was the trip, because usually everybody's always at least in pairs, and he was by himself. And I seen him make like 2 laps around the track, and I'm tripping to myself like, something ain't right here. And sure enough, man, he slides into my building after the inline, and I didn't know what happened because I didn't go in, because we're not allowed to go in. We got to stay on the yard. But I seen him go into my building, and I know he didn't live in that building. And then about it wasn't no more than a minute, the alarm got sounded, and it was him. He went in there. This cop was working my building now, and I guess he had pulled a overtime at another building. And what I ended up hearing was that this dude was a lifer. So by him doing this, it really screwed up any chance he had of getting out, right? At least for probably 10 years. They probably gave him a 10-year denial. But he ended up putting hands on this cop, because I guess the cop went into a cell, tore up his shit bad, like where he disrespected his family photos. And he took something from him, like a hot pot or something. And he took it from him, and he felt really disrespectful. And he had to disrespect this dude very bad, because this dude was, by this time in his life, he had been down like 20 plus years, and he became very humble, right? He was a very humble dude. So this dude had to disrespect him very bad. I would see him participate in the Christian circles as far as the Bible studies, but he still did his thing, right? He didn't make the transition all the way to step away from the homies, his homies, whatever. I had a very little interaction with him. It was always just, respectful good morning or good afternoon type things. And a couple times I got at him because I was trying to get in the store, and he was working in the store. So he would get me in there sometimes. I think only once. The other guy, I would go through a white dude. I used to go through one of the homies, but then the homie paroled. So he told me, one of these guys, man, all you got to do is put their names on the top of the paper, their initial, Hector, and you'll circle it. And then the white dude's name was Zach, I think it was, if I remember right. And then just put a Z and around it. They already know. And you leave a couple dollars open for them to take what they want for getting you in there. And it's worth it. Paying the $2, $3 to get in line quick is worth it, because you could be out there waiting, literally all day. And you don't want to be out there in the yard holding, with your store bag until they finally let you in, until yard recall, or, what I'm saying? It just sucks, because you got to stay out there. You know what I mean? So it's quick. It's better to get your stuff inside as soon as possible. You know what I mean? See, there's some that get total enjoyment out of that shit, ripping yourself. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Okay, Harvey dropped his thing. Palmetto, buenos dias. Dixon Yerma was Santa Rita cracking in the 90s. I don't know about the 90s. I didn't get to Santa Rita until 2011 was my first time in Santa Rita. But I've heard a lot of stories from my dad, my pops back in the '60s, early '60s. And the way Santa Rita works is once you get a number in Santa Rita, you always have that number for the rest of your life. So you can tell about who's who and who's been around because, like my dad, in my dad's case, he has an A number for Santa Rita. You know what I mean? So you know he's been around a while. That was a trip. Your cousin was in the movie Blood and Blood, and my cousin was also another cousin. I dropped it later because there was a cat in here named Rasta Business, and he brought up movie The Principal, and then having the homeboys from 38 Locals in it. And then I remembered, oh shit, my cousin Rob, aka Mota, was in that movie too. So I was gonna get at my cousin and text him about sending me some pictures, but I said, you know what, let me just Google it and see what I can find. And sure enough, I Googled it, and the first picture I see, boom, he's right there. So I posted it on the community page. His face is circled. He has the Lokes on, and he's in that picture. So that was 1987. I think my cousin was born in. See, my oldest brother's born in '63. My second brother's born in '67. So I think he's born in '65. So he's like what 57 now. So in '87 he was like 21. No, like 22, something like that. And so yeah, go to my community post and you'll see him there too. The second picture, the second movie, excuse me. Got to go. You all have a thanks Harvey for stopping by. And Harvey dropped his link. Everybody go tap his link, go check out his channel. He talks about real shit in prison as far as weirdos, where they stand, should they be given passes, should they get smashed on, different things. He's always supporting other channels. And I did 4 videos with him, so go check him out. I also did a video with Luke GTV. He's out of Minnesota. And then I got other things that I'm going to be doing in the works with iTalk. If they only knew. Hopefully, earlier Jedi Mind Trick dropped in. I hope to bring him on so he can tell his story. And I got some other things. I've been reaching out to other people too as well. Let's see. You always know when it's about to kick off. I seen this one kind put a matchstick between 2 razors and stripped it right across the cheek, and it doesn't get stitched properly. Oh yeah, there's vicious ways. Yeah, if you want to talk about that, if you know it's going to kick off, okay, not within your own peoples, because usually what happens there is that you're nervous, you don't know, because just keep it real, people. Not only are you going to go out there and brawl with a group segment, you got to worry about the freaking tower popping you with either the block gun if it's you guys don't stop fighting, or if they see a weapon, or they see somebody get dropped and they're just getting kicked in the head, they will shoot you with the real gun. So you got to worry about that too. You know what I'm saying? So anybody just says, like for me, I had made a statement one time that I wasn't nervous when I went to prison. I wasn't, because I was schooled really well by my older cousins, the one that was in that picture, the blood and blood out picture. Okay, but I am admitting this, when it came time to where it was going to crack as far as a melee and riot, I was nervous as fuck. Because again, like I just said, none of you got to worry about, you getting off with the guys you're getting off with, the group segment. You got to worry about your folks around you. If there's anybody that's in a wheelchair, they can't defend themselves properly. And then you got to worry about the towers. You got the main tower on the yard, then you got the buildings where they can get up on the roof and pop your ass with the Mini 14 or the block gun. So it's nothing. It's no walk in the park. Harvey is awesome. Check him out. Yeah. TX Royal Flowers, no doubt. So yeah, it's a dangerous situation. It can get real jiggy with it real quick. You know what I mean? It's not nothing nice. I've been, like I said, I've been in the gym where that was our stronghold. That was our main. We're like 30 deep in there, but it was most of our homies that had skills with the hands. You know what I mean? And I shit you not, they played games with us too, because they kept making us believe that we were going to come out with the group segment that we just had an issue with. They did that to us like 3 or 4 times, and it didn't come to fruition. And then I shit you not, man, everybody, there was about 10 of us on the toilet all at the same time, because we had bubbly guts. We had the BGs, you know what I'm saying? Bubbly guts. We were nervous about what was going to happen. We put on all our state clothes and all our personal clothes. We bundled it up real good and put it all in our locker and locked it, in case something did happen. All our stuff was secured. Not to say they can't get in there still. Italiano 559 was saying his cousin knew his family, small world. Italiano 559 was saying his cousin knew his family, small world. Whose family? You talking to me? About me? No, I think what it was just I knew some homeboys of his that I'd done time with. And so yeah, so you get that nervous feeling. Also, if you're on the yard, like there was a couple of times I remember this the homies from down south had issues with the blacks. Started out with the bloods, and you could just feel the tension on the yard, man. It was so thick, it was thick, bro. And that I've seen that a couple of times. You know what I mean? I've seen that a couple of times. Uh, I've seen it where we weren't involved, and I've seen it when we are involved. And like I said, man, it goes from 0 to 60 uh, quickly, man. It gets jiggy with it like that, man. And that's another thing when people start saying like, uh, people start saying, uh, oh, level twos, oh, they ain't about nothing. Well, let me tell you this, man. Level twos, you don't have tower cops, right? All you have is like you have the 2 cops per building, and then you have like 3 cops that are the rovers that work the yard, and you have a sergeant. Usually you have a program sergeant and a yard sergeant, and then you have the lieutenant, right? Well, when you're getting into it, like say a 30-man melee, they're not going to be able to stop you guys. So basically, what they got to do is, and then usually each officer from the building, one officer will be the responding officer. So like, say if you're in building, for example, you're in Pleasant Valley, you're in B yard, buildings 1 through 5. You got buildings 1 through 5, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, and then you have the gym, right? So what happens is one officer from each building will respond, along with the the rover cops that are that are yard cops, and then that usually that cop that's in a tower. You'll have okay. Let me break this down. So B yard, Pleasant Valley, you'll have B1, B2, B3, B4, B5 buildings, and then the gym. You have 2 floor cops that work each building, and you have the tower cop in each building. So what happens is one of those cops from the floor will respond if it's on the yard or in another building with the yard cops, and then if it's on the yard, that tower cop will go up to the roof with his weapons, and he'll assist that way along with all the other building cops if it's on the yard, and then you got the main tower there too. So it gets crazy, right? And then on the level 2, you don't have those tower cops. You still have 2 building cops, but you don't have the tower cop. Then you'll have the 3 yard cops. And what happens is, if it gets out of hand that bad, they have to shut down the other yards, and their response teams have to come. You know what I'm saying? I seen that happen where I was in Avenal one time. This was what yard was that I was on? Because I've been there a couple of times, and I got moved around different yards. I believe it was 4 yard. I was on the 4 yard, and something popped off in one of the buildings. And what happened was a cat from down a southern homie, Southern California homie was showing him that he had a weapon, and he kept showing it off. And some guys felt threatened about it, so they ended up jumping on him, and then it became a north and south thing. And it got bad too, man, when the cops were spraying each other on accident, because they were trying to spray the guys involved, and they were hitting the cop. One cop ended up having like a heart attack during this event. There was about 20 between 20 and 30 people involved. My bunk was in the corner, the very end of the other building. So this happened in the 30. So the 430 building, I was in the 420, but my bunk was the corner, and I was able to look out my window to see what was going on once they started bringing the guys out. And I was able to put it together what was going on. Pretty much, I knew that something was going on, but I told the homeboys that were next to me, I said, because they brought some other people out too. So it kind of looked like maybe some guys got caught up in the area, and they got sprayed too. So we waited for a minute. Plus, at that time, we weren't mixed. They didn't have the building mixed. They started the building I was in, because that was the building. Matter of fact, the building I was in, they were just filling it up. So they did some moves. They sent some guys to different yards, and they were just starting to fill this building up, or filling the capacity of it. So there wasn't even that many of us in there, and that building wasn't mixed. So there was nothing we could even do, like as far as so-called ops wasn't there. You know, they had us separate in that building. We, you know, not to say it wasn't going to stay like that. Uh, oh man, I don't remember how long it was exactly until they started mixing it. You know, as far as putting the north and south in there together. But it did happen. You see, level 2 always popping up. Anybody say different? Don't know. Yeah, I've been on level 2, 3, 4, and level 2 were always more active. Yeah, the only difference with the level 2 is not everybody has to carry a piece. It's not mandatory. Did you go to Corcoran during the fights? Nah, I didn't. I'm too young. I'm too young to have been there during that. One of my cousins from Oakland, my cousin Paya, which he's in. If you guys ever watch that documentary, what is it even called? Is it called? They're following around the Parkins brothers. I don't know why their last name is Parkins because they're straight. They're Mexican. Their mother even speaks with an accent. But for some reason, their last name is Parkins. There's a bunch of Carlos Parkins, Jimmy Parkins. There's a whole bunch of brothers. They're from the '60s, Oakland, East Oakland, and it's kind of like a documentary on them. And my cousin, who goes by Payaso, Greg Silva, he's passed obviously since then. He was a youngster in the video, real young. He's well known. A lot of people know him. He got caught up in that shit in those fights back then. So back to the topic at hand. So you're gonna come out for yard once a week, right? You're gonna, if you guys are moving, or if it's mandatory, if it's movements for chow, you will get out yourself for breakfast. You will come out for lunch or for dinner, excuse me. So breakfast and dinner, you come out, you walk to the chow hall, you get your breakfast, and I don't care what prison you're at, you get your lunch with your breakfast. Either if you're being if you're being self-fed, you'll get your lunch as they pass out the milks and juice. If you get juice and your trays. If you're walking the chow, just as you're dumping your tray, somebody will hand you a lunch, or as soon as you dump your tray and walk out the door, somebody will hand you a lunch. And then for dinner, you'll walk again and go to chow for dinner. And then showers, depending on what side of the building you're on, if you're on the east side or west side. If you're on the east side, you'll shower Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you're on the west side, you'll go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for showers. And you'll come out for that. And they usually only pop out like in the wings. In Tracy, there's showers on every tier. So the bottom tier, I think if I remember correctly, there's 3 shower heads on that side, 3 shower heads on this side, and then there's a handicap ADA shower with like a hose. And then second tier, so the showers on the first tier is on the east side, and then the second tier and third tier, they're on the west side, and there's only 3 or 4 shower heads. And so everybody will pick. Usually, if you're there for a while, you start picking what showers work the best. So you try to get the same one all the time. So you come out for that. And then if you have anything medical going on, because you have to see the dentist. They check out your teeth. You have to get that done in reception to get going and get up out of there. That's part of the procedure that gets you out of there. So you have to go and get your teeth checked. And usually you'll get sent over there after breakfast. And after breakfast, you'll go up in there into the little holding area. It's like a little yard. I got another story I'll tell about that later too, man. It was crazy. And so you got to get that done. And then you got to, and D.V.I and Tracy, they never pushed the issue about getting your hepatitis shots or getting checked for hepatitis or HIV. But when I was in San Quentin, they made a big deal out of it. They basically said that I wouldn't get through. I would get held up. I would get held up there if I didn't do it. And that was the last time I went to the pen. I was in San Quentin. So I went ahead and did it. Obviously, I don't want to get stuck there. I want to get on my way and get to where I'm going to do my time at, right? So you'll come out for that. And then anytime you put in slips to see the doctor or you're complaining about something, they'll send you over there right after count clears, just before chow time dinner. And you'll go over there and you'll see the nurse. And if they feel there's something they can treat you for right then and there, like ibuprofen, a bottle of ibuprofen or anything like that, they'll go ahead and give you something right then and there. And then you might get meds for like a month supply of ibuprofens, right? If they feel they can't treat you, then you'll go on to the doctor's line, and then you'll get a ducat and you'll go see the doctor in the morning. Chepe, buenos dias. How's the weather in Mexico? Is it raining over there? También? Uh, so you'll get all that done in the morning, and then with the ducket, like I said, you'll go over there. And what I used to do was I used to take me a little shot of coffee. I take me a shot of coffee and I put one sugar in there, and I'll mix a little bit of creamer, and I'll take a little sack and I'll mix it up. And then when I go to chow, because they'll put a coffee like a coffee dispenser out there in the yard at the medical, and I would mix that coffee. It was kitchen coffee, right? So there's no kick to it at all. And I put my coffee into the cups, and then I would put the hot water, the coffee in with it, and then mix it up. And I would drink that while I was out there. And again, I would get at the guy at medical who was the inmate that worked for medical in reception, and I would tell him, hey, put my paperwork on the bottom, because I wanted to spend as much time out there as I could, because I didn't want to go back to my cell that fast. You know what I'm saying? Because again, in reception, the movements you do is every day chow, breakfast and lunch, breakfast and dinner, and then the yard once a week, and then shower 3 times a week, and that's about it. San Quentin, on the other hand, all the showers are on the bottom tier. Same thing. What they do is they go front bar, back bar. So what that means is cells 101 through 125, 201 to 225, 301 to 325, 401 to 425, 501 to 525 is considered front bar. Back bar is 126 to 150, 226 to 150, 326 to 350, 426 to 450, 526 to 550. That's back bar. So they would go front bar Monday, Wednesday, Friday, back bar Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for showers. Same thing there. You walk the chow for breakfast and dinner. You do your medical stuff all the same way. You have to get same thing, your dental and all that done before you get out of there. But you go to yard twice a week. And the difference is Tracy's a big, huge ass yard. You go to San Quentin is just, you either go to Bayside or yard side. And we went to Bayside, and Bayside basically is 2 yards side by side, concrete yard. They both have a basketball court. They both have a little wall. You play handball. You got different areas guys pick to work out. And Bayside meaning the bay water's right there. You see the ferry go by. A lot of people will wave. You can see the houses on the other side of the bay from Marin. It's a small area. And the way they do that is like first tier, second tier, and half of first tier, second tier, and half of third tier will go on this side of the yard. And then the other side will be the other half of third tier, fourth tier, and fifth tier. Because San Quentin has 5 tiers up, only on one side though. It's not like Tracy where there's a east and west side, 3 tiers up, both sides have cells. It's not like that. It was raining last night, but it's all cleared up now. Yeah, same thing here. Let's see. Yeah. Yo, they done them checks and said you won't get to the gym if you don't get checked with the herpes, with the hepatitis blood check. It's a finger prick, but I was like, no, it's not over here. It's not a finger prick. It's they actually draw blood. The thing we found out, the inmates weren't getting these results back. That was for the prison. The checks weren't your name. It was your prison number. That's flies. Okay. The only time I've been in San Quentin was freshman year, that Scare Straight program, 93. Yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, so they, like I said, man, both places they have their pros and cons. Which reception center is better for this than that, right? And then you will come out too when they do laundry. I think laundry's, man, I don't even remember if it's once a month or it's once a week. And then like when you first get there, you come down to the laundry, you tell them I'm a fish. That means that you just got there, you don't have your clothing yet. All that means is basically they gave you what they gave you when you first came in. You know, the one set of orange, the one boxers, the one pair of socks, the one shirt. So once you go to you come down on your cell, they do it by sections. You come out, you tell them fish. Usually you'll have a homeboy that's already working out there, and then he'll put stuff to the side for you. Brand new shit. You know what I'm saying? The best looking stuff they can find. I used to wear a 6X top and a 4X bottoms. And they would put away, you know, brand new t-shirts. I would wear 5X t-shirts, and I wear a 4X underneath. And then they also had shorts. The pants were just like the pants, but they were shorts. They were, you know, done in the I guess that would be laundry, but you'd have a certain person that would, cut them, stitch them, you know what I mean, and then run the machine on them to ham, like the ham on it. And you want to get a pair of those to work out in, you know what I'm saying, or go to yard in, or whatever you chose to do with it, right? We had to walk through the yard and go into the cells at the bottom tier. The cells are hella small. Yeah, the cells are hella small. I could be standing in my cell, my right shoulder's touching the bunk, my left shoulder's touching the wall. That's how thin they are. And it's the difference too between Tracy and San Quentin. They're designed different. And then I had the bottom bunk, so nothing bothers you there. But if you're on the top bunk, about right where you're probably just above your belly button, actually might be a little bit higher up in that. That's where because your bunk on the top, you have your locker's right above you, so you can't be twisted and turning. Like if you go on your side, there's no way because your legs will hit the locker. You know what I'm saying? So it's very uncomfortable. And then, like I said, the toilet's in the back of the cell. So if you're on the bottom bunk and your cellie's on the top bunk and he goes to sit down and take a shit in the middle of the night, it's right there. So it sucks. And Tracy, the shitter's more towards the front of the door. And then Tracy, you actually have windows you can open to get some fresh air. You know what I mean? And then of course you put the curtain up, give it that little bit more privacy. In both cells, every cell I've been to, you put that curtain up. You know what I'm saying? And it's big. People are real big on, if you got to fart, you go sit on the toilet and fart and flush. And then you always have your baby powder or your spray, like in a little spray bottle. You go shh like that. We would get we make our own, but we'd also get like some good smelling oil, like maybe Muslim oil, stuff like that, those type of things, and mix it. You only need a few drops, mix it in your little bottle, shake it up, and then you spray it when it comes time to use the bathroom. It makes a big difference. Even the baby powder makes a big difference. You shake it, and then you turn it where it's open, and you just squeeze a little bit, and the powder will go up, into the air, and that makes a big difference. You know what I mean? Because the reason I'm saying that, because you're only allowed now 2 flushes per 5 minutes. If you flush it a third time before 5 minutes, your toilet will penalize you and you can't flush it again for an hour. So if you took a dump and you got the dump in there, the turds in there floating around, and you done maxed out your flushes, it's going to stay in the toilet. So it's going to smell eventually, So the way to do it is drop what you got to drop, flush, and then give yourself a couple good wipes, then flush it, and then kick back a few minutes, wait for that 5 minutes to pass, and then handle your business. Because otherwise, like I said, you'll screw yourself over with the flushes. Now, there's a way around that. You can pay that plumber, the guy who works for plumbing. You can pay, and this is an inmate. You can pay him. It depends what they charge, but usually it's a book of stamps or a jar of coffee, which is $6, and they'll go in there and they'll reattach it. They'll disconnect it, and then every time, if they do find out and they they fix it, then you have to pay them again and do it again. You know what I mean? That was Arnold Schwarzenegger's big idea to suppose to save water. It was bullshit. How are you gonna have two? If you were in the cell by yourself, then that wouldn't be so bad. But you're in there with another cat. You know what I'm saying? And it's you're in there literally in the size of a closet. You know what I mean? Where you do everything in there. You eat, you use the restroom, you bathe in there, you do your laundry in there. All that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why we roll our mattresses up. For one thing, it keeps you from wanting to lay down and be lazy. But secondly, your bunk is like your table. You do a lot of stuff on there. You ride on there. You might roll up a blanket real tough, real tight, and sit on the top of it, and then use your bunk as a desk. You might put blankets this way and stack up 3 or 4 of them and sit on it like that and write. You might sit on your bunk and put one leg on the floor and kick one leg up and use your knee to write on. You cook on there. You don't want to spill stuff all on your mattress, with your brand new sheets, your clean sheets. You don't want to do any of that. You might use it as a table to do your arts and craft, draw, build things, make things, whatever, but you roll that mattress like a Tootsie Roll as tight as you can. You slide it one way, out of the way, you know what I'm saying? And your celly, and that's a rule. That's one of our one of our rules. You have to do that. You know what I mean? Because you're allowed to take a nap, but it has to be after 12 o'clock hour, and only one of you guys can take a nap. The other one needs to stay up. So one up, one down. You can never be both down unless it's at the end of the night. And you do a bar lock, right? So after they do the last count at night, then the COs will go around and do the bar lock, right? And they can't undo that bar lock unless the sergeant comes and oversees it, supervises it pretty much. Like if there's an emergency in the middle of the night, I remember a guy one time was hanging himself. The cop went around for the count and caught him hanging himself. He was the only one in the cell, but he could not open that cell. The sergeant had to come. They obviously read over the radio code, whatever. The people ran over there, then they undid the lock, and then they went into the cell. You know what I'm saying? So it's a form of security. Your shoes need to stay on all the way until they do that bar lock. So that's usually last count's about 9 o'clock. So it's usually 9. They're off at 10. So it's before it's after 9:15, but it's before 10. They do the bar lock. That's when you can kick your shoes off, and that's when you can go to bed. A lot of guys are dead tired by that time because they've been involved with obviously working out every day. All their D's and R's, which is duties and responsibilities, as far as with the homies, with the collective. If you have a position. Good morning, BG Wendy. And I'll break down to the workout. The workout is you have to do on the main line. You got to do 122 counts every day. So that means 122 count burpees. So that's 500. That equals 500 push-ups, 500 kicks. So you do a push-up and then you kick in between each push-up, right? You do 5, then you come up. That's 1. So you do that 122 times. So it equals to 500 push-ups, 500 kicks, and then you got to do 40 laps a week on the track. You got to run 40 laps. So however you want to break it down, if you want to go 8 laps a day for 5 days, or if you want to go 4 days, if you want to go, what would that be? 10 laps a day for 4 days, but you got to do 40 laps a week. And then every day you got to do about an hour and a half on the bars. So dips, pull-ups, chin-ups, curls off the bars, back arms, all that. And then if you want to play basketball, handball, that's all extra what do you call that? Oh man, my mind went blank. Extra cardio. Jeez. That's all extra. So that's the Mando. I've been to joints where we're not allowed to do drugs. You're not allowed to do hard drugs because it's mind alternating and it fucks you up, right? To be on point. Also, some places I've been to, they allow smoking weed and they allow drinking, but the next day it's asked that you go hard in your workout to sweat all that shit out of you as far as the pruno. But most of the places I've been to, you can't do it. They don't allow it because even that, people tend not to act normal. They don't act their normal self. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Let me see. If you haven't already, hit that like button, peoples. There you go. C-Dog just dropped his link. Any of you guys haven't subbed to his channel yet, go check him out. He has real good content as far as conversations. A lot of people join in from all over the place. He's also lives in Mexico and Tijuana, and he posts a lot of like the street vendors and stuff like that out there. So it's introducing that living in Mexico to a lot of people that like for example, Roscoe's from Scotland, so I don't know if Roscoe's ever been to the States, but we're talking Mexico, so it's another country. It's something cool. He's a good cat. He's out of San Diego, Cali, and I think he's been in Mexico for the past, I think he said 8 years or something like that. So go check him out. Okay, cool. Roscoe just subbed to you. Also, Harvey tapped in earlier. Go check him out. Harvey Talks Prison. And then also, if anybody here has a friend or has their own channel or is thinking about getting their own channel, go check out Rich DM 650. He does, or even if you need things done digitally wise for your company or anything like that, tap into him. I believe he has a I know he does. He has an IG, so you can tap in with him there too. I'm coming back out in January. Where are you going? My sister's an American citizen. Where does she live at? Yeah, I remember that. C-Dog takes us all over Tijuana with him, and he shows us everything there is to see. And TJ too. Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. So, yeah, Rich, I need some. I don't know. Can you make me some things like I don't know if you can make avatars or whatever, because I remember when we were talking that day, you said that you had to do the exact sizes for YouTube. So I'm assuming you're talking about like the homepage, you know, where you can't just put anything there because it doesn't fit. I think that's what you were talking about. And I need to put something on my homepage. So I'm starting to get with it now. I finally learned, thanks to Sandman from Paradigm Media News. He's partners with Boxer over there. He showed me how to do thumbnails on the pre-records. So I appreciate that. So I went back to all my pre-recorded videos and I dropped thumbnails on them. And I also dropped thumbnails on my first few lives that I didn't have a thumbnail for. So I took care of all that. I got thumbnails on every video now. And so I learned how to do that. So now I need a intro, outro, at least the intro. And then I need to learn how to do like take from not people's channels, but other like clips and post shorts. Because right now what I've been doing is I've been using one phone and recording with the other phone. That's ghetto, but you know what? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a learning process, like with everything. And you know, eventually you stay with something, you'll get with it. You know what I'm saying? There it is there. www.baymarketing_printing@instagram.com. Yeah, so get at them. If you need anything for your business, flyers for an event, maybe flyers for garage sale, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Different things. Promoting something for maybe a nonprofit. I already said events, maybe things for weddings. I don't know. Car clubs, car shows, you know, anything like that. Get at Rich. He's out of the Bay Area. I'm pretty sure he comes to you. He'll bring the stuff to you. Or www.baymanda.com. Yep. But yeah, I need some avatars, man, because shout out to Sin City Vanquish, but he sent me a Big Lou No Fly Zone Ricans for that channel, but I don't want to use that one for this channel because obviously they're two different channels. And then iTalk sent me a what to do with Big Lou, but I can't get it to fit. See, because when I turn the camera off, it shows it here, but then on the live this is the StreamYard, it shows, but sometimes on the YouTube one it doesn't show. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm thinking because it doesn't actually fit in there where you can actually make out what it says. So I need something like hopefully maybe if I get 3 or 4 different avatars, maybe one with what to do with Big Lou with the Puerto Rican flag, another one with like a prison concept, maybe some bars with the tower on it or something, like what to do with Big Lou, and then another one with maybe basketball, baseball, football, boxing glove, MMA, something with MMA and something pro wrestling. You know what I mean? And then a 4th one with anything. Of course I'll pay. I don't expect things for free. You know what I mean? You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You feel me? That's just how it is. You know what I mean? But I definitely want to, and then I want to put something in my, also on the homepage. I want to fill in that blank right there. Yeah, I'm still rocking. You still working, Carlos? We can do anything from design to prints all over the country. We are doing some wedding stuff right now. Big Lou, just hit me later. You have to size it. VPS Talks channel helps you how to upload. Okay. Also size everything and get channel up. Yeah. So just by me, Carlos, you still working? I'll drop the link. If not, I mean, if you aren't, I'll drop the link. So yeah, by me doing the thumbnails, man, because that's why I was telling you guys I was doing primarily lives, even though I wasn't getting many people in the lives, because you gotta take into consideration the time that your viewers are on and stuff like that. But anyways, I was dropping the lives anyways because I only know how to do the thumbnail on the lives. So I was doing lives only. Now that I know how to do the pre-record videos with the thumbnails, I'm gonna step back from doing so many lives, and I'm only gonna go live like probably Mondays and Fridays lives, or maybe 3 days a week. Yo, Lou, if you need music intro, let me know. I'll put you on to my friend. Yeah, no, I do need that. Buffalo Billy said he was going to help me out with that, and he was like, ask Tom, and he never got back to me. So I want to do like intro music. I want to do. Job got canceled until tomorrow. Okay. I want to do like a Latin flavor, you know, a Latin sound, like a salsa sound, and then maybe go into a little rap beat or something. Or it don't even have to be changed. It could just be the Latin sound. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I am. You know what I'm saying? That's what I bump. I bump salsa. I love salsa from the 70s, though. I don't like that. I'm not with that. Salsa changed in the 80s, like the mid 80s, early 80s, mid 80s. It changed to that salsa romantica, salsa, romantic salsa. I'm not really with that. I don't like that. I like the old school gangster shit that I call them, because these dudes used to go perform with big ass afros, with fucking brim hats, with trench coats on. They had badass glasses like Hector Lavoe with the shade where it changes. You know what I mean? It was a big, huge culture thing. Salsa was big because of the military and all the Puerto Ricans being in it over in France and Germany and Japan. And it shows because you had a lot of groups from Germany that sang salsa, played salsa, but they sang in their native tongue, German. You got Japanese groups that sing in Spanish, that learn Spanish, like Grupo Wow, or what is it? WAO, and then La Orquesta de la Luz, Orchestra of the Light. They're straight Japanese from Japan, and you have a lot of French groups that sing in French. But it's salsa beats. You got also African from all over Africa, different places, Cameroon, Uganda, Nigeria, where they speak in their native tongue. They sing in their native tongue, but it's the salsa beat. And a lot of the old school African music, a lot of it has a lot of sounds. It sounds very similar to the original Puerto Rican music, la música jíbara, right? Before salsa came out, where it was just the maracas, you know what I mean? The guido, and it have the bongos and the cuatro, the guitar, the 4-string guitar, right? Lou, he just done a South American beat, and a Mexican rapper picked the beat up from him. That's what's up. Frank Vibes has the plug on the music intros. Also, he knows a spot where you can buy music that you own, so it's copyright. Oh, okay. Big Lou, we got you. Let's just let me know. We can put a design package together for you. Okay. I'll hit him up straight after this. Well, Roscoe, what do you got? You got okay, well, hit him up and then hit me back on one of the comments in the comment section, and then we'll go from there. Or you know what? I could give you my hold on. I could give you my email right now. Let's see. I'll type it in the comment section. What is it? Actually, it's what it do with Big Lou, just like the channel. Actually, I messed up on the. I just realized right now I messed up on. Hold on. So here's my email. Screenshot it right now when it comes into the comment section. I messed up. If you noticed, it's supposed to be NFZR. Oh no, never mind. It's correct. Okay, so I just put my email in there in the comment section. Screenshot it right now, Roscoe, and then get at me. Get at me when you got a chance, or when you hear something back. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Um, and then so you got all that going on in reception center, right? And then what happens is one of the last things you'll do is you'll see your counselor, right? Your counselor will either come up to your door or they'll have you popped out and you'll sit at one of the tables they have in between the buildings, right? Hold on one second. And then what they'll do there is they ask you a bunch of questions, right? If it's a new number you're on, damn man, he fucking flies. If it's a new number you're on, what they'll do is if it's a new number you're on, what they'll do is they'll ask you like your parents' name, your mother's maiden name. They'll ask you your parents' birth dates, your siblings' birth dates. If you have kids, excuse me, they'll ask you their birth dates. They ask you if you got a high school diploma. They'll ask you if you ever been to the military. They'll ask you a few different questions like that. If you ever went to college, I think, if I remember correctly. And then they might ask you a few other questions. But pretty much that solves it all right there. And that'll be your CC1, your Correctional Counselor 1, right? And then once you get that done, all your questions with them, once they're done with all your paperwork, they'll go and check all your your enemy list. If you have an enemy list, which is called an 812, if anybody's 812 you, it's basically your enemy list, and they'll pay close attention to that, because what that means is that they won't send you to a place that anybody that's ever 812 you. So basically, if you ever jumped on somebody on a removal type thing with the weapons or with hands, and they actually told on you, then they'll 812 you. And that means it's like a keep away pretty much. And so CDC, California Department of Corrections, will look into all that, make sure that they send you to the right place. So there's only 4 questions that determine how many points you have, okay? And those 4 questions are your age the first time you're arrested, right? Obviously, the younger you are, the more points you're going to get. But what they'll do is they'll say something like age 12 to 15 or something like that. And then they'll go and you say it might be 10 points. And then it'll be 16 to 18. That might be 12 points. And then 19 through 25. And that might be, excuse me, I went backwards. It'll be, the younger you are will be the most points. So it would be, say, 15 points for, 12 through 15. You know what I mean? That's one question. Second question is your age on your arrest on this time, the age you were when you got to reception center. Obviously, the younger you are, the more points you'll get. Okay, those are 2 questions. The last 2 questions are if you belong to a group segment, what they call a security threat group, STG. So if you go in there admitting that you're a blood or a crip or a skinhead or a border brother, or you're from up north, you're from down south, you're a southerner or northerner or bulldog, then you'll get 6 points for that. And then the last one being how many years you took in court times 2. So if you took a sentence of, say, okay, let's take my last sentence, for example. I took a 3-year, 4-month sentence, right? So what they would do is 3 years times 2, which is 6. They don't look at the months. They just look at the years. And then I went out to court and I had to answer for a warrant I had, and they added on another 8 months. Because by law, if you're already locked up, they can only give you the midterm and 1/3 at the midterm. So midterms, usually for most of the charges I've had over the years, the midterm is usually 2 years. Low term, 16 months. High term, 3 years. So what they did was they gave you 2 years midterm, 1/3 of it, which is 8 months. Okay, so that ended up making me do 4 years with half. But they already had did my my points when I was in reception. So the 3 times 2, that's 6. If you're given 10 years, then it's 10 times 2, that's 20 points. And then if you're a member of any group segment, that's 6 points. So that's 26 right there. So half the questions already have you almost, you're a high level 2, right? So those are the 4 questions they ask, and that's how they determine how many points you got. On top of that, the only other points they add on you is if you have, like you've hurt somebody very bad with a weapon in the past, or you've assaulted a staff member, or you have some type of charges where you got busted for bringing dope in the institution. They'll hammer you for that too, and that'll cause you to get more points. And then a lot of guys too, I seen come through after discharging their number, but say they had an indeterminate shoe. What that means is that you basically never come out of the shoe until either you die, you parole, or you debrief. Debrief means telling, right? They design that purposely to try to break guys. Say guys that paroled and then came back on a new number, I've seen them stuck for a while because their files had to go back out to the SSU, which is the guys that are, the ISU are the ones that work in the institution as far as the investigative security unit, and the SSU are the ones that work on the street. So say you walk off of prison or you're a high-profile gang member, they'll be the ones that are monitoring you. If you escape or walked off from like a prison, like a low-level custody, they'll be the ones that come and look for you. And they work hand to hand with the FBI and shit like that. That'll be one of the times that, like, I've seen guys come in reception and get stuck there for like anywhere from a year to 2 years because they're a validated member and they discharge their number and they're going through their file, I guess, with a fine-tooth comb, I guess. I really don't know because I never was validated like that as a member. I had my little beefs as a, not even an associate, you know what I mean? I've been through corporate, but it was way after Rich had asked me if I was there during those gladiator schools that gladiator fights that Boxer was speaking of. No, I haven't. I came through there like, I'm not even sure when that concluded. I want to say it was probably like 93, 94, and I didn't get over that way until like 99. And then I went back later, but not to the shoe. I went to the corporate yard. So no, but again, after you're done doing your paperwork with your counselor, it then goes to, they forward it to CSR, and I don't remember what CSR stands for, but they're the ones that determine and put you up for your transfer. So once you see your counselor in the reception center, you are going to be out of there within a month. Usually it's it's not even that long, but usually it's like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? As long as they don't find nothing in your file, your C file, that shows that you've at some point hurt a staff member or assaulted a staff member with a weapon or assault, or like I mentioned earlier, which you introduced drugs to the facility, because they're always going to say the security of the institution is priority, and then also the security to the staff members is priority, right? And then you're usually third or fourth, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't even really, they don't give a shit, you know what I'm saying? They put you in situations like, no matter what you are, you got some group segments that they save. And what I mean by that is that they only send them to certain prisons, and then they send a shitload of them, where you got 2 yards that they house these guys, and they'll have literally 200, 300, 400 of them on each yard. You know what I mean? And to me, that's protecting them, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't send them to regular prisons, And then on the flip side, if you're from up north, they don't send you to every prison either. So it goes both ways. So I'm not trying to talk shit about no group segment. It's just the way CDC, California Department of Corrections, do how they do things. If you're from up north, Northern Latino, they only send you no further than on a GP line. They only send you Delano. That's the furthest south you go. Back in the day, they used to send guys to Calipat, to Ironwood, to what's that other one? Chucky's house, which is Chuckawalla, Donovan. They can send you anywhere, and you have to defend yourself. Usually, what you do is when you got off the bus and somebody confronted you a certain way in a negative manner, you were to just get off on them, take flight. You know what I mean? Because you're pressing up on you. It's a security breach, right? You're not supposed to let nobody threaten you. It is what it is. That goes for a few different group segments. That's why when some guys might come on here and they say, I'm from, for example, I'm from Compton, or I'm from South Central, I'm from East LA, I'm from San Diego. I've never seen a cat from up north on a prison yard. Some people don't seem to want to believe that, but then at the same time, why is it not believable when you have all these pins down south that they don't send people from up north to, from Northern Califas? They don't send them down there because of the security issue, from all the lawsuits or whatever over the years. They stopped doing it. So when a guy comes out here saying that I've never seen a Norteño or Northern Latino on any yard I've been to, I can totally believe that, because there's a bunch of prisons down south that they don't send Northerners to, Norteños to. So why is that not believable? You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, which we know is it's a security issue because guys will get hurt, right? And like I said, you know, if you get rat packed, even if you're a tough ass dude, and you get jumped on by 5 guys, 6 guys, you know, you could only defend yourself so many times. And when there's weapons involved, you know, you could be getting stabbed from behind, all in your kidneys and your liver shots, and you know, and it's all bad. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. That's when guys come on here talking all that tough guy shit, you know. And I'm not doubting they might be tough guys, but everybody knows that their strength in numbers. So again, if you got 5, 6 guys on you, and 2 or 3 of them have weapons, you're gonna come out on the short end of the stick. It is what it is. You know, it's inevitable. It's common math. You know what I'm saying? And you got some of these clowns, and then you know they're clowns too when they don't show their face. You know, and they got an avatar on, and it's not even their real name. It's something like a state with the name. You know what I'm saying? And then I heard just the other day, some guy claims to be 6'8", you know, and everything about his life's perfect. And then he makes a video where he's standing in a doorway. Everybody knows doorways are 7 feet, right? So if you're 6'8", you should be just a little bit underneath that fucking, a little bit underneath the door at the top. But it was obvious it was like a foot. You know what I'm saying? Yankees for life. Is that the real Yankees for life? Yeah. What's happening, man? You working? Take care of yourself. Everybody has taken a loss or 2. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you this. There was somebody that I grew up that was one tough son of a bitch, right? I seen him fight 2, 3 guys at a time. I seen him do all kinds of shit. But when he got older, he still had the mentality that he was still 35, you know, and he was 55, and he had ailments, you know, injuries, and it slowed him down. And some people just don't want to accept it. And it's obvious that this is true, because if that was the case, we'd have a ton of world champions in boxing that would be 45. We'd have MMA champions that would be 42, a ton of them. You know what I'm saying? We'd have a bunch of different Tom Brady's, right? Football. Have a bunch of different LeBron James in basketball. You know, we'd have a bunch of different Nolan Ryans in baseball, but it doesn't happen. Those are far and in between. Those are special people, special athletes. You know, it doesn't come that often. I have to go to the hospital to see my friend. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hopefully your friend's okay. I got a doctor appointment right now. I got to go get my heart checked before they give me this protocol. It's when they give you this certain medication, you have to get your heart checked. So it's normal. It's a normal thing. But yeah, I hope your friend's all right. Big Lou, you know I support you. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, so I hope everything's all right with you. TX Royal Flowers, yeah, Nolan Ryan. Yeah, I did a video on Nolan Ryan and Mike Schmidt. Go back in my videos and check it out. It's not a live, it's actual video. Just chilling. Big Lou passed by the McDonald's drive-thru, get some coffee, bro. I'm all dormido. Yeah. Yeah, I got a little rest last night, but I woke up early to take things with the kids. Hope your friend's good, Yankees. You too. Yep, Yankees, hope your friend. Obviously, he's a close friend if you're going to visit him in the hospital, so I hope everything's all right. Yeah, just chilling. Yeah, matter of fact, Anthony Magnolo sent me a little cash app for me to go get some coffee. He said, even though I got some coffee here, but it got cold on me, and I don't like drinking cold coffee. It's nasty. Ugh, I'm old school. You know, there was no cold coffee when I was growing up. You know what I mean? But so back to, I want to finish out this part of the video. So after you see your counselor is called CC1, your correctional counselor 1. Usually, I mean, they come in regular dress clothes, but they're actually correctional officers. But they're just now in the title of a counselor, and they come in dress, you know, a dress shirt, slacks, stuff like that. They're equivalent. Usually, a CC1 is equivalent to a sergeant, and then a CC2 would be their boss. They usually sit down in your committee hearings, and that stands for obviously correctional officer 2, and they're equivalent to a lieutenant. CC3, correctional counselor 3, is equivalent to a captain. And again, they'll sit in sometimes on your initial ICC, initial classification committee, or your UCC, unit classification committee, or sometimes, usually you don't see CC3s. It'll usually be a captain there. in a CDC uniform with, with with the bar, 2 bars on each side, right? A lieutenant only has 1 bar on the collar, and sergeants have 3 stripes on the sleeve, right? Okay. Um, and then there'll be associate warden will be in there, and usually you'll see the CC3. Well, he'll be running like a program, like a substance abuse program, or if it's a hub yard, and the hub yard meaning guys that are getting ready to go home fairly soon, they'll have a designated yard, certain prisons that'll be called a hub, and that'll be the yard with all the programs. That'll be the yard that helps you out getting your ID. You know, when you parole from R&R, before you go out, jump on the van to be taken to the front of the prison to either be dropped off to your peoples or to be taken to the bus station. They'll give you your ID, right? They'll also help you get into programs, and the programs a lot of times will pick you up. So that's those hub yards, and they have a ton of programs on the yards, right? I'm not really sure of all the programs because when they were starting to kick this off, it's about the time I was going home. But the time I was in the pen before that, I heard about the hub yards, and they were starting to make put out like memos where what prison we're going to have these hub yards. I remember something about that. So that's usually when you'll see the CC3. And again, once your CC1, your correctional counselor finishes up your paperwork as far as getting you classified about how many points you have, and usually they'll ask you all. I forgot to mention this. They'll ask you if they say, "Okay, Mr. Big Lou, you got 28 points. That's level 2. Okay, where do you want to go?" They'll ask you to pick 2 places. Okay, you pick the 2 places, and then they forward your paperwork to CSR, and CSR will go ahead and pick where you're going to go. Usually you don't go where you're picking. That's just usually it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? That's a crock of shit for them even asking you that, right? And then once, like I said, CSR gets your paperwork. Once you see the counselor, you know you're going to be out of there anywhere from 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks usually. I say a month just to be, you know, whatever, be safe, whatever. And then what happens is once you get a bus ticket, what they'll do is they'll run count that day. The COs, they'll do the count. When the count clears, chow will be within about an hour. What they usually do is they'll have their runners, their porters, their tier tender, whatever title that you want to call them. They'll give out the bags to who's going, and what it is just a grocery bag, paper bag that's brought underneath your door and it's slipped under your door. It'll have your last name, your CDC number, and it'll say, if you're going to Avenal, it'll say ASP, Avenal State Prison. If you're going to Corcoran, it'll say CSP at Corcoran. If you're going to New Corcoran, it'll say CATF. That stands for SATF, excuse me, Substance Abuse Treatment Facility. That's New Corcoran. If you're going to Soledad, it'll say Correctional Training Facility. If you're going to Vacaville, it'll say CMF, California Medical Facility. If you're going to San Quentin, it'll say SQSP, San Quentin State Prison. If you're going to New Folsom, it'll say CSP SAC, California State Prison in Sacramento. You know what I mean? That's what it'll say. Somebody get that thing out of there. So that's how that happens. So what you do is you start putting your food in there, you know, usually, and when you get that bag, if it's a Friday, then that means Monday morning you'll leave. If it's any other day, Monday through Thursday, you'll leave the next morning. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill that bag up, and then when your door gets popped open to go see to walk down to the end of the hall where the wing, excuse me, where the property person is at, if you need 3 more bags, then you tell them there, and then what they do is it'll be bag 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4, and then it'll have papers attached to it that will show like if you got a soap dish, if you got a toothbrush holder, if you have deodorants, say you have 3 deodorants, it'll mark 3. If you have 2 shampoos, it'll put 2. If you have 3 toothpaste, it'll put 3. If you have say 20 pictures, it'll say picture, you know, they'll mark pictures, multiple. If you have 10 books, it'll say 10 books, you know what I mean? So on and so forth. You know what I mean? That's how that goes. They'll also add stamp envelopes. or stamps and envelopes, writing paper, 2 pens, all that different thing, all the different things. Food, it'll say, numerous food. It'll say legal work, paperwork, all that will be marked on there. If you have shoes, like the last time I was in Tracy, I had some Jordans, then I could wear those on the bus. You don't have no socks though. That's another thing too. When you get on the bus in Tracy, they give you all places when you get on the bus, they give you that paper jumpsuit. But the difference between Tracy and San Quentin is Tracy, you have a paper t-shirt and you have paper boxers, no socks. San Quentin, you have your actual boxers on, t-shirt and socks, but the jumpsuit, you know what I mean? And it's a lot comfortabler when you have regular clothes, you know what I mean? They have Keefe where you was at. Keefe, yeah, they got Keefe. They sell Keefe in the package. And the store, let me see if I remember correctly. Usually it's either Folgers they got in the store, and then they'll have a little cheaper bag where it could be Keefe, it could be. There was one where they had an arm like this flexing. Damn, I'm trying to remember the name of that one. And then they got another one called Billy, something Billy. It's like a goat. They got a lot of different coffees. My favorite coffee is Nescafe, Taster's Choice. That's got the best taste to it. And then I'd always get me what we call it in there, exotic creamers. That would be French vanilla, hazelnut, caramel macchiato. They have a bunch of different ones. You got to buy them on the package only. Sometimes the stores will have them, but they won't have that good brand. What's the main brand? Coffee Mate. They won't have that. They'll have some type of brand where I remember the French vanilla tastes like medicine, and I would have to get me a regular creamer and mix it because it had a weird taste to it. Keefe was the company that did Conversaire. Yeah. Where was that at a county jail? Bobby Bacala, aka Pep. Was that a county jail? They had that? Keefe. Carlos, what's up? With the no-fly zone. It's about that time, G. Let's kick it. Oh yeah, we're not. Well, no, we can't come on, bro. Nelson's in hiding, and we don't work. We lie about that, so we don't know. I need Coffee Mate. It's amazing. Yeah, but on the inside there, I would use obviously it's powder. You don't get the liquid creamer, so I would put even when I use the powder, I had to put at least one pink sugar substitute in there with it. On the streets, I use the liquid, and I don't have to use I don't use a creamer. I mean, excuse me, I don't use sugar or a substitute sweetener. I just use the straight up coffee and then the liquid creamer. There's enough sweetness in the creamer, and I get by with that. Today, we only had what do you call it, sugar-free creamer, hazelnut. So I used the milk, from the gallon, and so I put a sugar in with it. But yeah, so after you get your bag comes under. You load up your stuff, because I was going 110 to the store, which is the full pool in the reception center. So I ended up having to use like 5 bags, I think, when I left the last time from Tracy. The last time I left from San Quentin, I had a good amount of stuff because I remember when I got to my cell in Salinas Valley, I didn't have to use anything my cellie had except for his TV. He'd go to work in the morning, excuse me, and then he would let me use the TV. And I was on I was on orientation, so I couldn't come out. And then I had the jumpsuit on. I had to stay with the jumpsuit on until you get cleared from your ICC. But he used to let me wear. He had an extra pair of shorts. He used to let me use. So that was cool. But that again, that's what I was saying. Well, that's another story. We'll go. I'll talk about that later because it's just about reception. So in the morning, what happens is, obviously, when you pack up, you leave enough food for you to eat. That night, you and your celly bust a spread before you leave in the morning, and then usually they come and get you like it's about 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. They come and get you, and they already have all your stuff, so you don't have to bring anything. So when you come out, they bust you out. They get you up on the wall. They pat you down. They kick off your shoes, or if you don't have shoes that you're taking with you, they have you kick off your state slip-ons or your state shoes, and then they pat down the bottom of your feet and make sure you have nothing there. And then they just pat you down. And from there, you take that long walk down that corridor, and then you get up to R&R, and you go into whatever tank you need to go into. So, like I said, blacks and northern Latinos go in one tank. Blacks and northern Latinos go in one tank along with others. So, Islander and Asians go in there, and then the other one is Southern Latinos, whites, paisas, and Native Americans. They go into the other tank, and then they give you a sack lunch right there, and it's peanut butter and jelly with an apple and maybe some graham crackers and some cookies, right? The reason they give you the peanut butter and jelly because they're supposed to plug you up about using the restroom, because you are not allowed to take a dump on the bus. That's a no-no. You got to hold it until you get to one of the R&Rs that are coming up, and then you let the CO know. They take you out and let you take a dump. I don't do that. Like I said, we don't take craps on the yard either. That's a no, 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 no. I don't even remember ever seeing anybody doing that. We also, you can take a piss on the bus, but I don't even do that, right? I don't do that either. I'll hold it, even if it's a 12-hour bus ride, I hold it. It's hard, but I do it. And then you load up. You're usually in R&R for at least 2 hours. I think the earliest I've ever got out of there was about 6, maybe 6:15. Load up on the bus. They do roll call on the bus to make sure everybody's there. They ask you if you're on medication. If you are, did you get your medication in the morning? Because usually when they take you out at 4 in the morning, 4:30, they give you your meds right there. If you're given meds from the nurse every morning, they give you your meds. So they make that known on the bus. If you get meds, if you haven't got them this morning, let them know. Because if you start flopping like a fish out of water, they're going to instruct the guy next to you just to push you over onto the floor and let you flop like that. They don't give a fuck, right? These guys they'll make an announcement right there. Don't be talking on the bus. They'll take that highly disrespectful if you are. They play music usually for you. Usually what happens is once they roll onto some property, the next pin, then you're usually allowed to talk then, but it's got to be low. If you disrespect them, they will pull that bus over on the side of the freeway, highway, and not only, it might, on top of a tongue lashing, they might actually put hands on you. You know what I'm saying? And what can you do? You're fucking shackled. You got belly chains, and these guys are usually big motherfuckers, right? One time I got caught up talking, and he waited all the way until we got to this pin, which was about an hour later. And then he gets on the bus after they took the guys out that were staying there. And he says, all right, who was that talking? And of course, I admitted it, because what I didn't want to happen was, and they threaten you with this, is that say you're going somewhere like down south, or you're going somewhere up north. What they'll do is they'll make sure your property ends up in the opposite end of the state. So in other words, if you're going up north, they'll make sure to keep your shit. Not you that talk, but somebody that's on the bus. And they'll make sure that somebody that's supposedly in your op, and they'll make sure that, so if you're going up north, say to Pelican Bay or Susanville, they'll make sure your property, that other guy's property, whoever they pick on the bus, which you ends up down in, say, Donovan, or one of the not the border, but one of the desert prisons, right? Or if you're going there to one of the desert prisons or Donovan, they'll make sure your property ends up way up Susanville. You know what I mean? Where it's going to take a month or two for your shit to get to you. And they do that on purpose, hoping that because you opened your mouth and talked when they told you not to, and they'll take somebody, like I said, if you're a Northern Latino, and you're talking, they'll make sure that it's a white or a Southern Latino's property they keep behind. That way, they're hoping that there'll be an issue once you get to the prisons you're going to, that it'll be taken onto the yard because you didn't conduct yourself, as what was asked of you. You know what I'm saying? And you can get in trouble with your peoples, and then of course it's going to be an issue because they're going to blame you for their property, and that who knows what could come out of that, right? So anyways, I admitted to it, and then he took me off the bus, and he gave me a tongue lashing, but it wasn't too bad, and I apologized to him, or not apologize. Well, yeah, I did apologize because I knew better, and then I also thanked him for not trying to make a fool out of me in front of other people. Because like Roscoe said, I don't remember who said it, but somebody said that there's always, it might have been Harvey, that they're always looking to humiliate you, make you look less than in front of other people. That's for sure. That's for sure. Just chilling. We still flying, but the Captain Nelson has been taking care of some things. But don't let the bogus talk about us not going live anymore. No one on you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And hopefully, from what I heard about this clown, made a video, and everybody, how everybody, he says he's 6'8", right? So again, I mentioned about the doorway, 7 foot. Mostly every freaking doorway in the United States is 7 foot. So if you're 6'8", you're only gonna be, you know, this far from the top, not no fucking foot. So he realized he fucked up and he took down that video with the mask on, right? I don't got time for it. And I've noticed, and I'm gonna keep it real right here, and right now. I've noticed a lot of people that used to fuck with me tough comment on every video. They're nowhere to be found now. So that's obvious that they're buying into this bogus ass bullshit, you know. And I'm gonna keep it real. If it just takes one little statement by somebody from people that you never even seen their faces before or know what they look like, these people that constantly make fun of other people's looks, they want to make fun of my chin. I'm fat. I know I'm fat. That's never been an issue. Give a fuck, right? But I'll tell you one thing, you're not pressing my fat ass. You know what I'm saying? Sucker, you're a straight sucker, right? And that should show you right there that this motherfucker is a bogus ass cat. He's a fucking liar, but he wants me to seem out to be a liar, and Carlos to seem to be a liar, and Nelson and these other jive ass motherfuckers with their narratives that they can shove it right up their ass. We're some of the realest motherfuckers on here. Again, there was a guy on here that knows me in person for many years. We've been around each other, different prisons. The same way I am when I come on here is the same way I am in person. And I'll tell you the same thing about Nelson and Carlos. We don't play one side here and then we act totally different when the phone's shut off or the laptop's closed. You know what I mean? But I'm just gonna say it here now. Those of you that could listen to some bogus bullshit about me giving somebody's information about them and their family to somebody else can suck a fat one, right? And if it just took something little like that for you to be like, oh yeah, you know what, fuck off, that I never needed you over here, period. You know what I'm saying? You were the ones being fake all along. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you're gonna hear one statement in from 3 people that never show their faces or even know their real name, then you know what, fuck off. Straight up. Man, I don't care how you take it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need any of you motherfuckers. Straight up. Height means nothing anyways. No, you're right, it doesn't, but it goes to the fact that if you're lying about something like that, and you know, you claim to have a purple heart, and your father was a war hero, and your grandfather was a war hero, and everything about your life's perfect. Your wife, you've been married 30 years, and she's still a 10. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Everything about you is a fucking lie. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Yeah, that's right too. That's right too. But we all know this. Anybody who's been to the system is you're not going to be talking to people like that. You're not going to be calling them punks and bitches. And I don't give a fuck how big you are. 5, 6 guys on one dude. I don't care if you're 6'8". With weapons, you're going to get something put up through you from the behind. You know, you're not that tough like you want to come out here. And nothing old school about a motherfucker or a convict's going to be coming on here where they hide their fucking face. Pussy. That's straight pussy shit. Coward, right? To be. Now, if you don't want to show who you are because you just don't want to show who you are, that's fine. But when you're coming attacking people and calling them a pussy and a bitch and you'll whoop everybody and all this bullshit, that's coward shit, man. That's coward shit. No man's going to do that without giving that man an opportunity to get with his program for calling him that. There's nothing old school about that. There's nothing convict about that. That's nothing more than being a coward. Being a coward is cowardly, straight up. You know what I'm saying? And fuck anybody, straight up. I've had it with this shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It doesn't bother me like that. But I'll tell you this: a lot of these people are some phony ass motherfuckers. That's for sure. Are you fuck? You're getting socked. Are you fuck? You're getting socked. Definitely, Lou. I don't know what that means. Are you fuck? You're getting socked. Definitely. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't come out here calling people bitches. If you don't like me because you don't like me because something I did or something I said, or you don't like my get down, that's one thing. But don't come on here making up straight up lies that fucking I did this. Where's the proof? And then you got these other old bullshit ass motherfuckers that both out of their mouth came out that they knew 100% that I did it, that I gave this information, right? And then when I call them out on it, they're like, oh, what if you didn't? Oh, we'll apologize, but you got to show us the proof. Okay, that's where I don't know if you're getting shit twisted. I'm not trying to be in good graces with you motherfuckers. Fuck you motherfuckers. But I'm calling your sorry asses out for your big fucking mouths. And then you turn around and say, right after you say that to me in the comments, because you want to address me, you want to drop the link, but you got my name in your mouth, right? Then you say, oh, I'm getting sick of this he said, she said shit. If you're going to make accusations about somebody, have the proof. Well, what the fuck? That's not what you just said a few seconds ago. You know, it's comical, these fucking clowns, man. You know, you got people coming on here calling people bitches and punks and making big old things about rats. Real motherfuckers don't do that, man. Most people ain't gonna do that. You run into rats, handle it. And I'll guarantee you that these motherfuckers won't harm a fucking hair on that motherfucking rat's head. You know what I'm saying? It means you ain't speaking to someone in prison like that. You're going to, yeah, of course. But the thing is, you already know that, because with your own peoples, they're not going to permit you to be talking to different group segments like that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get dealt with within your own group segment. They're going to discipline your ass for talking like that. And then if you continue to keep doing it, you're becoming a nuisance to your group segment as a collective, where you're getting them what we call in a wreck, right? You're going to get them in a wreck. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to lose. It just means you're going to get in a wreck. So because this dumbass wants to run his mouth, now the group as a collective is going to get into it with another group because of a loose mouth. And now they're going to lose privileges. They might have been waiting for a visit for somebody that weekend. You know, now they're not going to get that. They're waiting to get a package for somebody. Maybe they've been doing bad all along, and now their family raised some money to get them a package. Now he's going to have to wait for that. There's not going to be no canteen. Maybe you haven't had money in a while, and you finally got money sent, and you're looking forward to go to the store that week or the next draw. Now you're not going to be able to, all because this fucking loose mouth motherfucker wants to call people bitches and punks. It ain't happening. Ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, even on the outside. If you're going to call a man, if you're going to go that far to call a man a bitch and a punk, let that man get with that program. Get with you from the shoulders at least. It might be worse than that. And I see it being worse than that if you're calling somebody those type of names. You know what I mean? But if you want to say, hey, you know what, Lou, fuck you, you're a chump. Hey, fuck you, Lou, you're a liar. I don't believe anything you say. Hey, Lou, I don't like you because you said this. Hey, you know what, Lou, I don't like you because at one point you made contact with somebody. That's different. But just come on here and just lie and say, oh, you gave my information. And then to say we're supposed to be homeboys. Homeboys, I never had a conversation with you. I don't even know your name. I never even seen your fucking face. Homeboys, you know what a homeboy is? Homeboy means we're from the same area. Homeboy means we've seen each other grow up. Or it means, you know, you were friends of my brothers or my uncles, and you see me as a kid come up. That's would be my big homeboy. If we're not from the same place, we can't be homeboys. That's for one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just comical how this fucking YouTube shit is. And you know what? And that's across the board. I've seen it on all kinds of different genres. Not generations, but genres. There's always trolls and clowns within the chat. You know what I'm saying? Always. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But damn, I've been on 2 hours and 24 minutes. So yeah, this ended up being a decent. So that covered reception center. Anybody, you got any questions you want to ask me or anything, go ahead and shoot them about the reception center, about anything. San Quentin, Tracy. On top of those two places, I also been to Delano. I've been Vacaville, I've been to Solano, Susanville, Salinas Valley, Soledad, Pleasant Valley, Corcoran, Avenal. I've been to all those different places. So I've been level 2, level 3, and once I was level 4. But that was short. I was short-lived. I wasn't that for that long. But that's the thing. When you're with a group segment, you know, when you're with a certain group segment like Northern Latinos, it doesn't matter if you're level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, or in the SHU or in the feds. The program's the same. You know what I'm saying? All right, Big Lou, hit me later. I have a good day. Yeah, likewise, Rich DM 650. What's the DM stand for? Digital marketing, and then 650s is area code. Mando Castillo, Big Lou, buenos dias, carnal. Yeah, igualmente, carnalote. Yeah, we got SGV in the house. El Monte, right? I believe you're from El Monte. I met some good dudes from El Monte, Flores, and Monte Hicks, and Monte Hayes. Earlier, one of my partners, I'd known him for years from the system. He's from Puente, San Gabriel Valley too. But you know that. This has been a brilliant show, Lou. My question, Lou, where was the worst riot in prison? For me, that I've been involved, or that I seen personally, or that I heard of? Because me personally, the worst I've been involved was Pleasant Valley. It was about 70. There was a total of about 100 guys, but it was like between 75 and 100. And there was like in Monte Flores. Okay, yeah. So with us, there was like 16 cats that were actually involved, um, against like 70. That was nothing nice. Got lumped up pretty good, but you know what? I didn't run. That's for damn sure. A lot of guys ran. A lot of guys act like they didn't know what was going on, and then they got dealt with. Also, I've seen Southside, Southern Latinos and blacks a few different times. I seen that was riot wise, and then I seen like a 30-man melee inside the building once. No, actually twice. Once was in the gym. It was whites and Southern Latinos, and the other time it was Paisas and Southerners Latinos, and then that was riot wise. Okay, personally, I'll hit my friend up soon as this is finished. He's got beats for years, bro. Good artist too. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. Did you screenshot the email? Because if not, go back and do it, or hit me up through a comment, I guess, and then I could drop it to you that way. Yeah, I seen some wicked shit, man. I seen guys get stabbed in the eye one time. I seen a dude get sliced across the neck. And it wasn't had nothing to do with us. And the guy that got stuck through the eye, he was on the dip bar, close by the urinal, and me and my guy with me, because we had to walk in twos. Uh, I used the urinal first, and then he went, and basically we watch each other's backs, and that's when I seen it. When I turned my back to go back to back with him, we didn't touch back to back, but we were face back to back. That way I could see if anybody came up behind us. That's when I noticed him going up on the dips, and they got him, and they got him like right here, so like right above the eye. It wasn't through the eyeball, but it was right here, and that thing was sticking out. And of course, he started like hollering, like, "What did I do? What did I do?" That's usually what you hear, like a guy that doesn't know what it's for. They'll say some shit like that. Sure, Lou, sure did, Lou, and you wrote your email. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've seen some shit, man. There's a couple little stories I'll give, and it'll just be pre-record videos because it's not much to tell in the story. Because when you see these things happen, if it ain't got nothing to do with you and your group segment, it's none of your business, right? So when you see something happen, you see it, and then you just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because you definitely don't want to be around it. When the COs come through to lay down the yard and they start trying to put the pieces together on who was involved, you don't want to get wrapped up into that. You know what I mean? You just want to get away from it. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it. Everybody's it's their business. Let them handle it the way they handle it. I'll give some stories later, probably on how like things happen, and then how things are handled between their own peoples. Also, I'll probably do a video on the importance of security, the importance of having diplomatic skills or using diplomacy. Because a lot of times shit can kick off, but because of diplomacy, a lot of things are nipped in the bud, and it doesn't have to go there, violence. Because everybody knows violence is bad for business. You're not going to make money on lockdown. It just ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? I saw Evato with his eye hanging out of his head, socket, crazy shit. Yeah, that was in the pen. Yeah, that is crazy shit. Man, I hate to end this right because we got 10 people in here. It's been steady too, like between 8 and 12 people the whole time, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, now that I learned how to do thumbnails for the pre-records, I'm probably only gonna do, because there I was doing like lives 2-3 times a day, dropping a couple shorts also. So now I'm gonna concentrate on this, doing shorts still. Also, majority pre-records, and then I'll probably go live Mondays and Fridays. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Maybe it might be Monday, Tuesday, Friday, or maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Because I still have to tap into the analytics. I've been looking at all of that, and I've been figuring out, like it breaks down like males, females, viewers, the ages, also the times when you're getting most views. And so all that's important, because if you go on a certain time and you're only getting like, 10 views, and because your viewers go lives from those hours, or if you go, you know, later. I think the best time for me, what I've noticed is anywhere around 3 p.m. to 4, about 3 p.m. my time. So that would be 6 p.m. Eastern time. It'd be 5 p.m. like Texas, around there. The southern states. I've been noticing that that's when I get the most people in the lives. You know what I mean? But then again, like I spoke earlier, a lot of times I was doing the lives only because that's the only way I knew how to do the thumbnails. But now that I know how to do the thumbnails on pre-records, I'll be doing more. I'm definitely on the pre-records, and then I dropped some shorts too. I dropped one last night on Takeoff and the Migos, and his James Corden. I don't know if you guys know James Corden is the guy, the British guy who has his own talk show, and they do the ride along, the carpool where they sing a song. So I posted 2 things that he said, 2 little shorts about him, with him talking about Takeoff from the Migos, and one of them I got like in about 2 hours I got like 1,500 views. I tripped out on that, and then I dropped one on Charleston White like 3 days ago, and within maybe 4 hours I had over 2,000 views, and I was like, damn, you know what I mean? See, the prisons over here are totally different with the race stuff. See, my boys from London, 2 were black, but we talked and hung with each other in Scotland. In Scotland, they're so-called yardies, as the papers say. Okay, yeah. See, that's you've been in prison in Scotland. I know you've been in jail over there, but you've been to prison in Scotland as well. If so, yeah, I would like to bring you on and talk about it. Also, I want to do something with Adam from, man, I don't know. He changed his channel a few different times. It was Australian prison stories, and it was Australian prison talk, and I'm not sure what it's called now. But Adam, his name's Adam, and I want to bring him on and talk about Australia, and then I want to do something with Harvey and talk about Missouri prisons. Hopefully, do something with Lance, talk about Virginia, off the yard with Lance, talk about Virginia in '85 in Corcoran. Corcoran didn't open. Corcoran didn't open until '88. Avenal opened up in '86. Yeah, Corcoran Shoe opened up in '88. Corcoran opened up in '88. Pelican Bay opened up in '89. See, that's the thing too. We've been in so many different joints, man. We forget. We tend to forget the years, and you know, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Especially when you've done a lot of time in and out, it's hard to keep track of all that. But yeah, I want to bring some different people on and talk about their experiences in different areas, different countries. You know, talk about the pen. Sea Dog was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but he came on the no-fly zone. I would like to do something with him and bring him on here and talk about his experience in the BOP, and also, you know, his different. He's been in different places. Texas. He's been to New York. He went to MDC in New York. Like a layover. I'm not sure how long he was there, but he was en route to go somewhere else. So I want to do those type of things. If you know anybody that has a story that want to tell it, you know, where they turned around, there you go. Spencer 89, yeah. So that was, you guys just opened up that prison. That was a freshly pinned. Look at that brocha. Look at that brush in that picture. So yeah, you know, if you know anybody that wants to tell their story where they're, you know, were a fuck up at one time, such as myself, and now they turn things around, that's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we want to highlight. You know what I'm saying? That it's possible to change. It's possible. Change is possible for the better, you know. Always be positive. You know, yeah, we come on here and tell stories about things we've been through, but you know, at the end of the day, the message is the same. We don't glorify this shit. I seen a short the other day. It's 2 cats in their cell. The cellie has the phone. He's videotaping his cellie, and they're grilling on their locker. They're using the bottom of the locker. They're using the top of their locker as a grill, and on the bottom they're using the hot plate underneath the locker. They have it up there somehow. I don't know if it's tape or what, but they're making quesadillas. You know what I mean? They have 2 that are made already off to the right, and they're making a 3rd one on there. And so, you know, the guy, he's kind of like, this is how we doing up in here, you know, which that's all good. You know, I remember me and my celly used to say, oh, we live like kings up in here. Like, you know, we're eating every day. You know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, let's not glorify that shit. Let's not. I'd rather be out here and on the street than being in prison. You know what I mean? I don't know how much time those guys were doing. Apparently one of them was from my area, maybe 30 minutes from where I'm from. And there was a few people that commented in the comment section that knew him. So it kind of seems like he'd been down for a while. Maybe he was a lifer. I'm not sure. But let's not get it twisted. Let's talk to our kids, our nephews and nieces, our little cousins, our neighborhood kids, family, friends, kids, and let's let them know, those of us that been through the system, let's push this message that don't make the mistakes we made. There's nothing in there that you need to go find out how it is, to see for yourself, to try to be somebody. It's not worth it. It's worth it being out here on the street, finishing up school, further your education, get a trade, go work, go to the military, do all that stuff instead of going in there, because at the end of the day, you're going to hurt your mama's heart. You're going to hurt your sister's heart, your old lady, your wife's, if you have any of that. So let's push the message that it ain't worth it. Don't glorify it. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I was in the LA County jail in 85. Oh, yeah. See, if you don't mind coming on too, let's talk about the LA County jail of the 80s. You know what I mean? You don't got to come on and show your face if you don't want to. Mando Castillo, you can just come on. You can come on as your avatar. You can turn the camera off on your phone or your laptop and just talk about things. You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of good stories for you. I used to be off the wall when I was younger. Now I'm married with a daughter and a great career. Let me know when I can come on. Yeah, no doubt. Let's see. I dropped my email earlier in here. Let me go pull it up. Let me see if I can find it again. Hold on, give me a second. There it is. Okay, there it is right there. Bobby Bacala, aka Pep, on the screen. So the channel is What It Do with Big Lou, NFZR2. And that's the same thing my email is. All one word, all lowercase letters. What It Do. There it is right there on the screen. Screenshot that right now and give me a message on the email. Or if you don't want to do that, you can comment in one of the videos, one of the old videos, or wait till this one's done and then go into the comment section and make a comment, and then we can go from there. But yeah, where are you from? You from Cali, or where are you from? New York? Are you from? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know where you're from. I've seen you a few times in different comment sections. I've seen you come here before, or maybe the No Fly Zone. I don't remember exactly what channel, but what state are you from? I mean, it doesn't matter either way. It doesn't matter either way. It's all good. Either way, the invitation's open. If you hit me on the email, obviously you'll have your email there too. We can figure it out like that. Providence, Rhode Island, good friends with MRE. Okay, cool. Yeah, MRE hasn't came on here live, but he's been in my comment section during the lives, and he's shared my videos a few times. You know what I mean? I've always kept it solid about what I felt about MRE. I've always said he's always treated me and my two brothers at the No Fly Zone with none but respect. I've seen him treat everybody of color with respect, and I've seen all that shit they try to say about him. It is whatever. That's whatever he was about at one time. That's his business. That's not my business. Even this shit with the paperwork. I'll keep it real. It doesn't look good, but it's still not enough for me to say that he's that. What they're trying to push. I always kept it 100 when it comes to that. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you come on, that'll be cool. So yeah, email me. Matter of fact, MRE has my number. Matter of fact, he should still have it. If you don't, he has my email, the other email. So this one that I gave you is to this channel, but then I also have an email for the No Fly Zone, which that one is just Big Lou, No Fly Zone Ricans. It's just one word, all lowercase as well. And I got that one as well. He should still have that one. If you talk to him, yeah, get my number then from him and give me a ring or give me a text first. Oh yeah. That's right. That's where I seen you at his channel. Yeah. So if you're able to get my number from him, give me a text message first, and then that way I know it's you. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I get a lot of spam calls from different states, and I don't answer those. You know what I'm saying? So just give me a message saying, hey, this is Pep, or this is Bobby Bacala, aka Pep, whatever, and we'll go from there. And I'll do it whenever you're ready. You have an Instagram? Yeah, I got an Instagram. Let's see. I don't want to say it here though. What's your Instagram if you don't mind putting it there? Or if not, here's my email. Mando Castillo. There's my email. There's my email right there. Right there. Yep. Marky Mark's still going strong. There's my email, Mando Castillo right there. Screenshot that. So it's the same as the name of the channel, but it's all one word, all lowercase, right? And no parentheses. It's just what it do with Big Lou. And instead of it being like in the name of the actual channel is W/, it's actually WIT, WIT in the email. It wouldn't allow me to use that slash, so I didn't use it. But hit me up and we'll go from there. That's anybody here that I'm not plugged in with your phone number. Yeah, hit me up. Yeah, Marky Mark's still going strong, but probably gonna tap out. But I was like, didn't want to tap out yet because I had so many people. You know, I was steady at 10, 10, 12. It kept going up and back up, down. Decent show where I was like topped out at a certain level, the whole show, the whole live, which was good. I like that. I appreciate everybody that stopped in and spent time here and stood here. Sorted Lou. I'll hit my bro up, hunt it, and give him your detail. Yep, sure. Cool. And then, like I said, obviously, I'm not in this for asking for nothing free. You know what I'm saying? I got a Gangish the other day through Harvey's channel, Harvey's live, and he said that he would look into it. You know what I mean? But I still don't even know how that goes as far as them you getting your info, or not your info, but you getting how do you, like, if you get an intro from somebody, how do you throw it onto the channel, or how do you add that in? I'm not sure about that, so I'm gonna need to be schooled on that. And then again, do I have to use the laptop to do it? Because not usually, I've been coming all the time. I do the videos off the phone, but I got a brand new laptop I bought and I haven't even used it yet because so many times I'm in the car and I don't know if I can go hotspot off my phone onto that. I'm pretty sure I can, but I got to learn how to do all that. That's another thing. I'm not tech savvy at all. I barely learned how to do thumbnails for pre-record videos on Friday. It might have been Saturday. I'm pretty sure it was Friday. But supposedly I'm looking at people's information and giving it to somebody else. Come on, man. Ridiculous. And I'm not going to go down that same road again. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? And that's too much explaining in my book, to be honest with you. But because you guys supported me, you know what I mean, on this channel and the no-fly zone, that's the reason I'm saying that. Because otherwise, I won't even explain that. That's just too much explaining, because I feel like I'm explaining to people that don't mean diddly shit to me. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You take that however you want, So, but with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. I've been on almost 3 hours. Damn, it flew by. I guess it's obvious when you're talking good, a good topic and you're interacting with the chat. That's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? So I appreciate each and every one of you guys that stopped in. Roscoe, Mando Castillo, Marky Mark, Yankees for Life, Rich DM 650. Carlos Muniz, Bobby Bacala, aka Pep, just chilling. TX Royal Flowers, BG Wendy, excuse me. I screwed that up. Sea Dog and Cooper, Daniel Ortiz. See, Marky Mark. I think I mentioned Marky Mark already. Harvey Talks Prison, Farmero, Dixon Yerma. Let me see who else we got here. Campbell Ford, Jedi Mind Trick. Steve Tortola. Oh yeah, Anthony Mognolo. Thanks for the Cash App. I think that pretty much covers everybody. Campbell Ford. Yeah, that covers everybody. Yep. So also I appreciate everybody that comes and watches the video after it's uploaded by YouTube. I'll hit you up on the email. Yeah, sorted Lou. I'll hit you. Okay. He'll let you know, bro. As I said, a South American rapper bought one of his beats. Yep. Okay, cool. Time flies when you're having fun. Take care, big homie. Yep. Likewise. Have a firme day, Holmes. Yeah, igualmente. Everybody. I wish everybody a blessed, positive, productive Monday, fresh day, back at work day. Always be safe. Know your surroundings. Also, you got to be a defensive driver when you're driving. All these nuts around nowadays. So be careful on these highways, freeways, back roads, side roads, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I wish everybody the best today, as every day, but since today's Monday, I wish everybody the best. Go make that honest money. And if you're just hustling, hey, you know what? Got to do what you got to do sometimes. But there's plenty of jobs out there hiring. You know what I mean? So just take care of yourself, everybody. That being said, Big Lou, tapping out. What to do with Big Lou. Oh, also before I go, anybody that didn't catch me earlier, go to my community section and check out some of the pictures I posted. There's 2 movies I posted, Blood In, Blood Out, with my cousin Jimmy Narvaez, aka Negro from Decoro Califas. He's in one of the pictures. I circled him. He's in the line with Magic, Miklo, and Carlos. And then also the pic is of the movie The Principal. I dropped a bunch of photos. Another primo of mine, Mota Rob. He's from Oakland, East Oakland, 38 locals. He's in one of the pictures. I circled his face. He's in red. He's got the Lokes on with the old school jacket, the pin jacket, the quarter sleeve. And he posted in there. A lot of homies from Oakland was in that movie. I also go check out some of the shorts I busted out. Ones of The Principal with my cousin in it. Another ones of Blood In, Blood Out. Also dropped a couple shorts of Rest in Peace Takeoff by James Corden. And yeah, go check out some of those. And also I did 2 videos yesterday on there are 2 pre-recorded videos. One on the fight reaction to the Dimitri Rival fight against Zurdo Ramirez, and how it was a one-sided fight. Nobody thought that was going to happen because Zurdo Ramirez is even bigger than Bivol. He's 6'3", and Bivol just, that Eastern European style, ate him up. So they're talking about Bivol could be fighter of the year, defeating Canale, and also Zurdo giving him his first loss out of 45 professional fights, his first loss. And then I also did a little video on Blood In, Blood Out, and I'll probably do one on The Principal, short one describing the movie. And then also there was an issue, another fight that happened Saturday night was WBA super middleweight champion, and he's a WBA regular. He's not the super champion because that's Canelo, but Cubano, he's Cuban. David Morale destroyed the guy he fought. I can't pronounce his name. I have to look at it, but he ended up knocking him out in the 12th round, and now he's in an induced coma. So going to make a short video on how boxing is it can be dangerous. Things have happened worse where guys got killed. I'm also going to do a video on Pritchard Colon, Puerto Rican fighter who was hit in the back of the head, and he was made fun of. Even the commentators thought he deserved an Emmy Award for it, but he ended up falling into coma. He was in a coma for over 200 days, and when he came out of the coma, he was in like a vegetable state. So I'm going to drop a couple of videos. I don't know if I'm going to do them today or tonight, tomorrow, but they'll be in the pre-record section. And with that being said, folks, thanks for giving me another couple minutes to talk. And now we're at 2 minutes and 52 minutes. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to have everybody here with me during this time, listening to my BS. And Big Lou tapping out. Thanks, everybody.